Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to get you styled up with Stitch Fix. Shopping's hard. It's hard. With Stitch Fix, you get a stylist, though, who understands your style, your size, your budget, and they do all the shopping for you.
Wow.
This is excellent. Shopping, I'm telling you, shopping and figure out your style, it's overwhelming. Let somebody help you when it comes to getting dressed. We don't know what we're doing, so we let Stitch Fix help us out. A Stitch Fix stylist there. They know what works on us. We get the prices that make us look really good, and it feels good. You get some confidence boost walking around knowing that you're looking decent here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we just give the stylist our sizes, style, budget preferences. We order boxes when we want, how we want, no subscription or any of that required. And they send called Just For Me pieces as well. Mm-hmm. Like, maybe you'd like this, and it's awesome. Outfit recommendations, styling tips. You keep what you love, you send back the rest. It's super easy.
Yep.
You can do it, and we are doing it because it's excellent. Personal styling for everyone. Get started today at stitchfix.com/STM. That's stitchfix.com/STM.
Now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show and tell you about Noom. Has Noom helped you? I believe it has.
Oh, that's got an app. You can do tracking. It's terrific.
It does. And Noom builds personal plans that can meet individual needs. That's the thing. Takes into account any dietary restrictions, medical issues, other personal needs. That helps build a plan that works for you. And yes, so I know that you've had your own personalized program here that you've been working on. And
it's weight loss This is weight loss results that last. They stick around because you get yourself into a lifestyle change. That's what matters.
That's mainly it. You can't just say, I'm going to cut that out for a month and then go back to it. That's not what it is. So I'm glad it's helping you. That's great. And it really does. I like the psychology and biology-based approach here. Yeah. Noom Weight uses psychology. That's why they say losing weight starts with your brain, but it also takes into account your unique biological factors, Jimmy. All of your multitude flora and fauna that goes on inside of you there. Sure. Yeah. Stay focused on what's important to you with Noom's psychology and biology-based approach. Sign up for your trial today at Noom.com, Noom.com here. Based on 3.5-year study of actively engaged Noom users with minimum starting BMI of 25. Individual results may vary. Visit our website for more information.
Welch's can't make everything make sense. Like why your mom still listens to the radio or what she meant when she sent that emoji. But a zero-sugar drink that's still full of fruit flavor, we made that make sense. And strawberry, passion fruit, Concord grape, and more. You gotta sip it to get it. New Welch's Zero Sugar. Let's fruit stuff up.
This week, in American Fork, Utah, a man's twisted and self-guided religious beliefs cause murder and mayhem while sending fear through a close-knit community. Welcome to Small Town Murder. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Small Town Murder.
Yay!
Yay, indeed, Jimmy. Yay, indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I am Jimmy Whisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us. Jimmy, right on target with the enthusiastic yay this week. Let's inject some humor into the world.
Let's have fun.
Let's attempt to have a good time.
This world, it sucks.
Yeah, we don't want to put it to we hate dating the show like that, but yeah.
Everything's shit.
We're in the middle of a world of shit, so let's try to make a nice shit salad out of it, everybody. And today, this is Arulo, Nebraska, Phillips, Oklahoma, pocket robin level, batshit crazy case today. This is wild and nuts, and if this is your first episode, you've chosen wisely because it's crazy.
We all deserve it.
Yes. Before we get into it quickly, just want to thank everyone for their reviews this week. We're not sure why they help, but they do. Those Apple Podcast reviews, that purple icon, give us 5 stars, and then you say something, say it's dark in here. They won't let me out until I finish this. Doesn't matter what you say, but it helps for some reason. And guess what? You have the time right now to do it. It takes like 30 seconds, so do that, because when you hear this, you'll know this took a lot longer to put together than that. So thank you for all who have done that, and for the rest of you, get on it. Also, go to shutupandgivememurder.com for all of your merchandise needs, everything for small town murder and crime and sports.
There.
If you're not listening to crime and sports, you're messing up again.
Yeah.
This week, it's a crazy wrestler episode, so go back and check that out. Marty Jannetty, it's insane. Listen to that episode. Also, get all of your, like I said, merchandise, tickets to live shows.
They're happening.
It's looking like after July and on are going to go on, and a bunch of shows have been rescheduled. Boston's officially sold out.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing that.
And that's also rescheduled.
For August. That's a dream come true to sell out the Wilbur. That's a great historic venue.
Such a big deal.
Amazing comedies happen there, and that's kind of a benchmark for comedians if you sell that place out. So thank you guys so much for doing that. Get all your tickets there at shutupandgivememurder.com. Also, if you want to be a hero to the show, you can do that. You could be one of our producers who we're going to gush about in glowing terms at the end of the show and tell you how wonderful they are. You can do that very easily by going to patreon.com/crime and sports. And that this week, too, and every week, if you're above the $5 level of whatever there, you get the bonus episodes. You get the full catalog of bonus episodes. This week's bonus episode is especially crazy. We're doing botched executions and last meals and weird last meals. That's going to be the bonus this week. So I've had research done for a mini case for like 2 weeks, but this is just more fun. So we're going to do that mini case next week. It's going to be a good time. So check that out. And thank you for everything you've done. Also, listen to P.S. I Hate This Movie. Comes out on Fridays with me and my wife, Sarah Hunt, where we rip apart romantic comedies. As she says, we take a realistic look into the unrealistic world of romantic comedies. And as you can imagine, I just yell and scream a lot and get real angry at shit. So check that out also. And wow, thank you for everything you've done so far. With that said, disclaimer time. Gotta do the disclaimer. This is a comedy podcast. It's a comedy show. We're gonna have a good time. We are. People are going to die. They will die. They're gonna be murdered here, which is right now it's the least of everyone's concerns. Honestly, think about it. You're less scared to be murdered now than at any other time in your existence, right?
I welcome it.
You know, you're like, well, at least it's another person I can talk to. That's good. At least I'm not lonely for a little while anyway.
You shouldn't be here. This is great.
So, yeah. But honestly, people get killed. We're going to make jokes. We don't make jokes about the murder. We make jokes about stuff around the murder. Usually when a murder is going to happen, it's because people have gone off their rocker a little bit. And then funny stuff happens usually around that. So if that sounds good to you, we're going to have a great time. If that doesn't sound good to you, if you think comedy and true crime should never go together, you should take a walk. Take a hike. There you go. Have fun. We gave it a shot. Thank you very much. But I mean, we're going to try our best. We try our best not to make fun of the victims or the victims' families.
Well, why would we do that?
Because we're assholes. But we're not scumbags.
Now we're talking.
That's what we're talking about. So if that sounds good to you, sit back wherever you are. If you're home,
you're allowed.
Scare the shit out of your pets right now. Really, in your living room. You can. You're in your own home, damn it. It's not in your office. Shout, shut up and give me murder, as the cat scurries under the couch. There you go.
Your goldfish just flopped.
And your dog twists his head sideways and goes, huh?
We can do that?
We can. All right, sure. Cool. I guess we're being loud now. So with that said, let's go on a trip, Jimmy.
Great.
Let's do this. We're coming from the East Coast. We're coming from Delaware.
That's right.
We were like in the Atlantic Ocean pretty much last week. This week we're going west, somewhere with no ocean anywhere near it. We're going to Utah.
Oh, it's icy.
Oh boy, Utah. We're going to American Fork, Utah.
Oh boy,
that is a real name of a town.
Apart from French Fork,
American Fork, Utah.
What the fuck?
At first I'm like, I wonder if they make like forks there. If there's like the American Fork Company started there, and it was just like a company town.
Yeah,
but that's not how it happened. This is in north central Utah. It's about 30 minutes outside of Salt Lake City. It's a suburb out there. It's about 5.5 hours to Boise if you want to go up that direction, and about an hour and 45 minutes if you want to go east to Duchesne, Illinois, which was Utah, which was our last Utah episode, and that is the one with less popular Joe Exotic. That is literally Utah's version of Joe Exotic. We did that last year, and he's pretty much the same guy on a smaller scale. He has a lion instead of tigers, and he takes it like to town, like the grocery store. It's insane. So I think it's episode 120. Listen to that one if you want to hear some crazy shit from Utah.
What a bizarre thing to own.
But not after this, but not till after this one, because this is even crazier. This is in Utah County. Very, very creative. Zip code 84003, area code 385 and 801. Can't hold these people with one. And it's about almost 11 square miles. It's not that average sized town here. The motto You can smell that Mormon cooking. You know what I mean? You can smell what the Mormons are cooking there. That's it. It's just
it's all bland down home.
It's going to be It's they don't even have a motto.
We have a motto. It is everything is covered in gravy.
Everything is beige. That's Utah. Look around you. Yeah. Beige.
Isn't it nice?
Isn't it nice? But the mountains are pretty in Utah. I'll say that.
Their food is very weird. It's all bland shit.
Yeah,
that's what I picture. Just a lot of biscuits, no gravy.
No gravy. No. Or if it is, it's the white gravy, but there's no spice in it whatsoever. It's just not even salted.
No sausage.
Not even salted. It's just done. Utah, we have to say, is known as one of the more conservative places on the face of the planet. You know, here and like Saudi Arabia, probably, you know. Places like that, maybe Morocco, you know, a couple of Syria, possibly, a couple of the more
war-torn countries.
Yeah, the more where the religion is really kind of the religion and the law really kind of go hand in hand. There's really no discerning them. But Utah, the people there who aren't insanely like religious and would hate us are the coolest people in the world because they have to live by these people by the crazy rules. So they're like, some voice of sanity, please talk to me. God damn it.
We're outnumbered and people keep voting.
One of the best crowds we had ever was in Salt Lake City. They're so fun. They're like, thank you. Our beer is we have to drink so much beer. It's like 3% alcohol, please.
They finally got real beer, and that's amazing for them.
Crazy.
But how long must you drink 3-2 beer to even get drunk? I drank an 18-pack in a weekend, and I never once was drunk. I thought I was Superman. I was like, I think I've done something.
I think you're supposed to just be full of liquid before you get drunk. That's how they do it. So, history of this area, it was used as a seasonal hunting and fishing ground by the Ute Indians there, but originally, that's the whole area, but American Fork itself was settled in 1850 by Mormon pioneers, of course. It was named Lake City in 1852. That's what it first was, and they later on changed to American Fork.
Until Salt Lake got too big.
Which is a little strange here. Yeah, they were like, well, they have Salt Lake City.
Right.
Or Lake City. We just figured we'd make it easy for people to not have Salt Lake and just have it be Salt Lake.
Right.
Fucking people over here. Sorry, excuse my language. So bring them. I'm sorry. Jesus Christ.
I'm sorry. The darned people are driving me nuts.
Yeah. So the first settlers were Arza Adams and then Stephen Chipman.
Oh.
Chipman.
Chipman?
Chipman. He sounds very, very exciting, this guy here. Jesus Christ. So there was a kind of up and down the American Fork River here is where people first started to settle. In the 1850s, there was a lot of fighting between the people, the Mormons who came in and the Native Americans who were there already.
Mormons were hostile, huh?
Well, I don't know who was hostile, but their lifestyles were clashing. We'll just say they just didn't have the same value systems.
Why are you guys smoking that?
Yeah, Jesus Christ,
my eyes are burning.
What's going on here? So at a meeting in 1853 at the schoolhouse here, Lorenzo Snow and Parley Pratt, these two guys, convinced the settlers to follow them and move into one big central fort. So the fort was built in a 37-acre area, and that's where the settlers were kind of holed up to protect themselves. It's like circling the wagons to protect themselves from native attacks, basically. Most people here, and they changed it to American Fork after the river to avoid confusion with Salt Lake City.
Okay.
That's why.
That's what the river's named is?
Is American Fork River. So they were like, let's just name ourselves after the river.
We'll take that body of water.
They could have named themselves anything. That's the thing. You don't have to name yourself after a body of water. It's not a rule.
They would have loved River Talk with James and Jimmy.
They would have. That would have
been their favorite podcast.
They would have hated because they were like, these guys don't know shit about rivers. God damn it. They don't know a goddamn thing. They had a public school by the 1860s, and this was the first community in the territory of Utah to offer public education to people there. The American Fork had a rail access point for mining there in the 1870s and that sort of thing. The American Fork apparently had a feud with the town of Lehigh because the Utah Sugar Company chose Lehigh as the factory building site instead of American Fork.
So they're pissed at them?
Which made American Fork hate that other town. Rather than hating the sugar company, they hated those people.
Those people didn't choose it.
How dare you? That's ours, goddammit. Oh, wow. No shit. We want jobs, too. Yeah. Fuck, I don't know. Goddamn. During World War II, the population really expanded here because they built the Columbia Steel Plant, and that became a big deal for the war effort. And they had an annual celebration in the summer back then. They changed it to Steel Days in the 40s. We'll talk about what it was before that. It was all about steel. Before that, there was several other incarnations of this.
Thank God for steel and war.
Yeah, no shit.
Celebrating war.
Celebrating steel for war. Yeah, Steel Day. Finally, jobs are here.
Thank God people were pissed enough to fight about it.
No shit. They built a city hospital in 1937, so they tried. It took them that long to build a city hospital, and they were built several since then. The Sandlot, the movie, obviously, the 1992 movie, was filmed in this area.
Really?
It was filmed all along like this towns around Salt Lake City.
Is that right?
That's where they filmed it, apparently.
I don't think I knew that.
The carnival scene in Sandlot was filmed in American Fork on State Street by Robinson Park.
Really?
So that is here. So yeah, because it looks like fucking 40 years ago because it's Utah. That's why. What do you think small towns in Utah look like? Yeah. They look like
1964.
What fucking year is it here? Am I? What? Did I do I have an orange vest on? Did I time travel? Is my DeLorean lost? What's happening here? What the fuck is going on?
And they got everybody's clothes from the stores that are open then.
They didn't tell anyone they were filming. No. They just set up some cameras real quiet, put like a tarp over them, and they were like, just blend in. Just do the scenes.
That salmon hat was probably a plentiful down there.
That's what I mean. It's just, they just took it off a kid's head. Also, several scenes from the movie Footloose
there too
were filmed in American Fork, including the opening scene inside the church, the front porch scene with Kevin Bacon and his family, and the gas station scene where he gets gas for his Volkswagen there coming in. So this is literally the town from Footloose.
Fascinating.
That's how stiff this town is. It is. People say that as a joke. Jesus Christ, it's like the town from Footloose,
right?
Or like the preacher from as like the stiffest thing possible. Yeah. This is the actual town from Footloose. This is fucked up.
As if somebody's saying that sarcastically here,
like
and then
like it is, as a matter of fact.
Matter of fact,
wow.
Let me tell you a story. I met Kevin Bacon.
Let's take you over to where Bacon stayed the night. So this has a 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. Even the story, you can't get away from it. So the first ward of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints was organized in 1851 in this area.
First one,
not the first one in this area.
Got it.
Was organized in 1851. The majority of the population here are Mormon, as we'll talk about, but there's also a Catholic parish there.
Sure.
Not a lot of them there, as we'll talk about, obviously. We'll know. Let's get to some reviews here.
Got it.
Get some reviews here. Let's see here. Here's a 2-star review. Not real happy with them. American Fork, Utah is a tiny town in Utah County. It's prominently white and Mormon. It has an extreme lack of diversity and is extremely conservative. It's rural Utah. Yeah. If you're looking for diversity, Utah's not the place to go. Let's just say that. Utah's a nice place. It's pretty. The people are very nice. Yeah. But if you're saying, I want to mingle with more black people, I'm looking for, maybe people from the South America, you're not going to find them here.
I want lots of choices on my Asian cuisine.
No.
Not there.
You're not going to get it there. If you're looking for something fun to do, you're going to have to travel 30 plus minutes to Salt Lake City, which is, that's a stretch too. Unless you like to ski.
Enjoy Dave and Buster's.
Yeah. Because of the lack of things to do, many teenagers end up getting into trouble because they are bored. However, if you're looking for a quiet, quaint, small town to move to in your 60s, this is the perfect place for you. So there's that. 2-star. Here's another one. I would try to focus on the positive in response to this inquiry. However, in all honesty, this area's crime is bad and police services are even worse. Myself and many of my friends, family, and close associates have been affected by theft, drug violence, gang-related crimes, and police brutality.
My God.
I challenge any gang in American Fork, Utah, personally. Kiss my ass, all of you. Down. Let's go, motherfucker. Whatever color you don't like, I'm going to go there and wear it and stand in the middle of the street.
Skin that smoke wagon.
I ain't afraid of you. So, here's another one. 2-star. I think this area tends to be populated with families. As a result, the area's restaurants and diversity is not great. Another one, many about restaurants. Don't try to find any open diners or restaurants or fast food establishments open after 11. And the few things that are open, don't expect kind service. Okay,
11 a.m. or p.m.? Huh?
p.m. It's 11 a.m. You better be in church by 11:30. So, shop. We're closing up shop.
Everything closes at 11 a.m.
Here's one that's a little more straightforward. The title of it is "Don't Live Here." Okay. No stars.
You have my attention.
Yeah. The schools here are awful. The school curriculum I endured was years behind anywhere else I've lived. Milwaukee, Colorado Springs, or Denver. The teachers are extremely substandard. This makes for a less than intelligent general population. I've met a lot of people who've moved here, and they all agreed that the overall people here are especially ignorant. Almost everyone here is both Caucasian and Mormon. The lack of culture or diversity is painful to anyone who values either. There isn't anything to do if you're not LDS. And even if you are LDS, there still isn't much to do anyway. The attitude of the majority is very unhealthy, with some of the highest prescription abuse rates, pornography rates, and illicit drug use. It's like a county in denial. Yeah, it is. It's going to be, because it's like the highest, they do studies, the highest viewing of interracial porn is down south, because it's a, you're covering for something, you know. No. I hate your sexy chocolatey boobs. I hate them. I hate the deliciousness of your round behind. I just don't like it. Like, what do you know? I hate it, damn it. Thou doth protest too much.
Right. It drives me nuts to think about how I can watch my penis go.
Jesus.
It almost disappears into it.
Oh, my God.
I hate it.
I hate it. I hate the fantasy. So people here, population was under 10,000 until about 1980. And then it's gone up a lot since then because it's a suburb. People here right now, about 28,507. It's up 82% since 1990, which is a lot. More males than females, but not by too much. Median age is 10 years younger than the average. Here it's 27.8.
Young folks.
Well, there's a lot of old people, but there is an ass shit fuck ton of kids.
Yeah.
Just so many. It's just double in all the kid demographics.
They have a lot of them.
It's a Mormon population. They're having a lot of kids. They're going to have as many as they can.
Yeah.
Married population is higher too, as you're going to be expecting here. It's about 60%. Not a lot of single with children. That's low. It's under 10%.
Okay.
They stay together.
Yeah.
Race of this town, not surprising here. 86% white, 0.6% black, 0.9% Asian, and 8.5% Hispanic.
Yeah.
You're going to get here. Now, 95.7% of the people here are religious.
That is fucking heavy.
It's usually 50-50. And we've had like 71, and I was like, oh my God, this is 95.7.
That 4.3 is so fun, though.
They're the fun ones.
They are a blast.
1.4% Catholic. That's probably your Hispanic population, I would assume. And Mormon, 93.3%.
That's unbelievable.
LDS.
It's working.
Wow.
They're doing.
They even got the fucking Mexicans. That's
that's their favorite lately.
That's what I mean. Well, there's a lot. There's a whole continent down there, and it goes into
they love big families.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's the same beliefs. So they're like, the Catholics not conservative enough for you anymore. Feeling too loosey goosey with the Catholic Church? Well, then we have something.
What with their wine and all?
We have something for you, Mister. You come over here. Leave that wine behind.
All the Catholic rules, without any alcohol.
Yeah, well, we have more rules, as a matter of fact, as well. If you like rules, we're the rule people. 0.0% Jewish. They took one look and went, I don't think so.
No.
We're going to keep going. The west or east, but not here. In Utah County, a little conservative on the voting, too. Last election, 14% of the people voted Democrat. 50% voted Republican. 36% independent.
Is that right?
Yes, because it's so conservative there. And the religious people said, we're not voting for the Republican candidate, even though we vote Republican, because he is a blasphemer and a blah, blah, blah. So they didn't like him. So
porn stars
Evan McMullen ran as as the conservative.
He took a shitload of votes.
That's what I mean. That's a lot of votes, man. That's how serious they are there. So unemployment rate here is low, actually. Right now, it's just over 3%, which, I mean, not at the moment, probably at the second, but last time they checked in, we'll say. Household income, usually it's about $57,000. Here it is $71,000.
Yeah.
So, that's a lot of people making between $75,000 and $150,000 in this area.
And then after taxes and tithing, they take home about $300.
That's about, I think the average average is about $12,450 after tithing, I believe. That's how it works. Now, cost of living here, not factoring in tithing. Cost of living here, it's 100 is average and regular par, whatever. Here it is 112.3. So it's a little high. Yeah. Mainly it's housing that's high. The housing here is 152 at over 100. So it's a lot. Median.
But these houses are beautiful.
Well, they all have a shitload of bedrooms. Even the small houses, it'll be a 1,300 square foot house with 5 bedrooms. And you're like, okay, I don't know where they squeeze these bedrooms into.
Yeah.
But it's for a lot of kids. They're set up for a family.
They're short, so we can just put
we can cram them in. I went to Japan recently. And in Tokyo.
We can double deck a bedroom.
They sleep in drawers. We could double deck them. I'm just saying.
We could put frame in about them. 4 feet high, 8-foot ceilings. That's 2 rooms.
We'll stack them. You ever been to a morgue? Now they had these drawers. They just pull them out. We could put them in there. There's a lot of kids, is what I'm saying. I'm not saying there'll be no air or nothing. But
we can Jewish bury them for bed.
Just
for bedtime.
Just for bedtime.
We'll let them out.
That's right. They must hate the quarantine. They can't gather.
Right.
And on top of that, everyone's at home watching terrible things on TV that they don't want them to watch. They're all just home.
Watching this tiger
Watching the net gays with the tigers and the Julu and all their damn shows.
Told you that them gays were going to make all of it.
I knew it.
He made 2.
Now
he made 2 of us gay.
Tigers with viruses now running around. I think Joe Exotic gave it to him. I'm just saying. He gave him it's a gay tiger virus come to wreak havoc. So median home cost here, $352,500. A little bit high.
They're steep.
Yeah, most of the houses are between $200,000 and $400,000. And if we've convinced you, damn it, you've been having too much fun. We have for you the American Fork, Utah Real Estate Report. Your average 2-bedroom rental here goes for about $1,050, which
decent.
Is low compared to the housing costs. That's wild. That's under average nationally because most people have houses here. What are you going to rent? A 2-bedroom apartment?
You're going to rent an apartment with your 7 kids?
That's fine for year one, but then what?
You're single in our town?
Yeah, that's it.
Not going to be for long.
No. So I found a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,440 square foot trailer.
Yeah,
it's not great.
Right.
It's a fucking dump. This is you've been excommunicated by the church. You're not allowed to work anywhere.
Got you with the Bud Light.
That's it. Oh, you're done. $55,000 for this thing. So it's a place to live. I'll say. I found a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,872 square foot house. Mm-hmm. This one's nice, updated, got all the backsplashes and shit like that, nice sinks and everything. But it's going to cost you $324,900 for 1,800 square feet. That's steep.
Yeah.
Then I found this. You're going to stretch out. You're the guy skimming the tides here. You got your hand in the cookie jar. 6-bedroom, 6-bath, T-bowl for every beehole.
Yeah.
God damn.
Let's go, Elder.
Let's do it. 6,419 square feet. Stretch yourself out. $199,900.
$900.
Just say $900 grand.
What are you doing?
Fucking try to scam me with that
shy
shit.
of it?
No,
Jesus.
I don't think so. So things to do here. I found Fork Fest.
Oh,
hey, gotta have the Fork Fest. This is what the website says about it. Fork Fest is your unforgettable summer kickoff with 28 bands, 3 stages, and 1 epic fest.
Oh boy,
I'm sold. This celebration of Utah-grown bands will include original music, art, vendors, food trucks, and other activities for the entire family, such as bounce houses, a foam machine, and a children's art tent.
Local bands and their original music?
Oh, that's going to be...
I don't want to hear
Imagine how bad that's going to...
Fuck you.
Someone's going to be like, play some fucking Bob Seger.
Play anything. Anything I recognize, ever. Play Montel Jordan. I don't give a shit.
So play This Is How We Do It. I don't give a fuck at this point. Tell me how South Central does it like nobody. I don't care.
I don't want to hear the song you wrote for the girl that broke up with you 12 years ago.
Man, for the love of Christ.
Local bands and your original music.
Do Taylor Swift at this point. I don't give a shit. Just something. This is crazy. Anybody know any Cardi B? Any of you?
Play Keith Urban.
Anyone have a disabled little sister or something that can do Cardi B for us, possibly? I don't know.
I'll listen to that first.
Yeah, here. And you don't want to miss it. Children 8 and under are free. So bring the
28 bands. A fucking onslaught.
Can you imagine?
Bullshit
on 3 stages.
Yeah.
So I found.
Fuck you.
I picked out some of the choices here.
Yeah.
First of all, Joshua James.
Yeah.
Who just looks like a dork.
He's got 2 J's.
Another band called Fictionist. So I don't know if that's a religious band or what, but Fictionist there. Desert Noises is another one.
That's
just honest.
Be called that.
That's just honest. It's just
is that just like
we're in the desert, we're making noises. I don't know if that's got religious connotations to it, like Old Testament shit there, but
making joyful noises.
And desert, there's a lot of desert references. I don't know.
Or is it just a dude with like
Moses' band,
and then he plays like some cricket sounds,
maybe,
and then he's got like a snake rattle.
This guy's got a snake rattle and some locust sound. Going in the background. Desert noises.
Fucking horrible. Jesus. That's actually, I would listen to that before I listen to local act original music.
That sounds like if Moses had a late night talk show, that would be his band. That'd be the house band. Everybody, how you doing? Thank you so much for joining me. Moses here on the Moses Talk Hour. It's been great. First of all, give it up for the house band. Desert Noises, everybody. Desert Noises. Gonna pump the jams out all night long. Let's do it. Let's have our first guest.
That song was called 7 Minutes of Rattlesnakes.
It's my favorite. It's a good one. My favorite. Next commercial, run that one again. I want to hear it, okay? Everybody in studio audience good with that?
Fuck.
Jesus Christ. Also, the Backseat Lovers. Which doesn't sound Mormon appropriate at all. That sounds like kids getting it on.
Yeah.
Book on Tapeworm. I just like the title of that.
I don't understand.
Book on Tapeworm. I don't know, there's a book on
I like tapeworms.
Great. And then the last band I chose is my favorite, Timmy the Teeth.
Okay.
I don't know if his teeth are great or terrible.
Or does he play music on them?
Maybe. I feel like his teeth are either like wonderful, like he's just like this ridiculous mouth.
He's the only guy in town that had braces and he's got good ones.
No, they're probably just all implants or something. They're just beautiful sparkle, or else they're terrible. Yeah. Now, general admission's $18 for this little affair in advance. VIP tickets, $45.
What do you get for that?
I think parking comes with that, which is $10, so it doesn't add up. Also, Steel Days, like we said, formerly Timber Day, then it was Liberty Day, then for years it was Poultry Day, which doesn't sound fun. It's summertime, let's go celebrate poultry, which doesn't go well in the sun. Then it became Steel Day in 1945 for the war effort here. It's their traditional celebration, and they changed it to Steel Day because the mayor decided Poultry Day no longer reflected the city's economy. Just not enough chickens here.
Right.
So, it was full of events similar to Poultry Day. In 2018, they still had Steel Day, Steel Days. They added the Smoke and Steel barbecue competition, a kids splash night. I don't know what that is. It's a pool or some shit.
Because there's no pool. It's just like sprinklers. Go run in the sprinklers.
Hey,
that's horrible.
Pickleball and spike ball tournaments.
All right.
What the fuck is a spike ball?
I don't know.
What that is.
I'm willing to play.
Sure.
I'll learn it.
Peg some Mormons with a ball. Not that I want to peg them especially, but that's who's around. There's no one else to peg.
That's what's available.
Not that I'm like, where are the Mormons? I'm going to peg them with a ball. I don't care what you do.
It's like going to a daycare and saying, I want to throw balls at adults.
Yeah.
They aren't here.
They ain't here. Whether this has been a family tradition for years or you've never celebrated us, I want to invite you down to enjoy all the fun that Steel Days has to offer. You can create memories of your own, Jimmy. How do you feel about that? Crime rate in this town, what we're interested in, the property crime just under the national average. It's right at average pretty much. Violent crime, though, murder, rape, robbery, and assault, the Mount Rushmore of crime, is only about 1/3 of the national average. Yeah. So that's low. Yeah. They'll steal your shit. There might be some cracky people here, but they're not killing each other so much.
Some prophet frowns upon that.
They're taking at least one commandment seriously here. I'm not sure.
I don't even know if those are the commandments they follow.
Oh, who the hell? I have no idea. So with that said, a nice, safe, clean little Mormon town from the Footloose. Let's talk about a murder that happened here and ruined everybody. What do you say?
Yeah.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about the safest sponsor ever, Simply Safe. Absolutely, these people will keep you safe. It's amazing. You know that every 26 seconds a burglary takes place in the United States, according to the FBI. That means that by the time this podcast is over, dozens and dozens of homes will have been targeted, ransacked. God knows what happens here. So protect your home before it's too late with Simply Safe proactive security system. Simply Safe helps stop threats before they even have a chance to break in. Named Best Home Security System by U.S. News & World Report 5 years in a row. And by us for about the last 8 years as well. If you trust us, believe me, you want Simply Safe. So visit simplysafe.com/small to claim 50% off a new system with professional monitoring plan and your first month free. That's simplysafe.com/small. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Now back to the show.
This show, Small Town Murder, is brought to you by BetterHelp. Get yourself some therapy, everybody. Honestly, here. We often hear about, red flags that you should avoid. Hey, that's a lot of a thing. It's become a real phrase now, real cliche. Yeah. But why don't you focus also, you look at like green flags in friends and partners. Look for good things as well. Right. And maybe you're not sure what that looks like, though. Therapy can help you figure that out. What are positive things? What are the green flags? And then you can practice them in your relationship. It's absolutely a fact. And so, honestly, we absolutely are huge advocates for this. It really, really helps. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy affordable. It's convenient. They serve over 5 million people worldwide. You can access a diverse network of more than 30,000 credentialed therapists, wide ranges of specialties there. Here's the coolest part. You're not getting along with your therapist, you're just not feeling it, you can switch at any time, no extra charge.
Wow.
The thing is, they want you to get help. That's it. And you can do it with BetterHelp. Discover your relationship green flags with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/smalltownmurder today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Okay, to start this off, you can't start it off. We got to start from the beginning. We have to talk about two young men. We have to talk about, well, they're not young now, but they were young then. Talk about Ron and Dan Lafferty. Okay. They're brothers. Ronald Watson Lafferty, he's born in 1941, and then Daniel Charles Lafferty, his little brother, who's born in 1948.
They blew it. They could have named him Ronald and Donald.
Well, there's probably a Donald because the family grew up in a family of 6 boys and 2 girls. It was 8 kids.
Oh,
not fucking around.
Oh my, or certainly fucking
around a lot. I don't know how you'd have all those kids. Wouldn't they hear you fucking all the time, making more kids?
I guess you don't care. That's the joyful noises.
I guess mom and dad are expanding the faith. I guess
we're about to have a roommate.
I guess so. Pull it. Make another drawer. Prepare the lower drawer. There's another one coming in. So a lot of this great background. There's a great background stuff that came from one source that was really good. It was the Deseret News, and the person who wrote it was Jesse Hyde. Came out in 2004.
Well done, Jesse.
Very good stuff here on the background. So they grew up in Payson, Utah, which is around here. It's not too far. Like every state has a Payson.
Yeah.
I saw Payson. I'm like, Arizona?
It's a very basic bitch daughter name.
It really is. Yeah, it is. No,
it's awful.
Peyton and Payson, same type of thing. So Payson, family of 6 boys, 2 girls. Their father is a goddamn maniac. This is the only way to put it. They call him a stern disciplinarian, but it's more than that.
Really?
He's angry. He's angry at his wife. He's angry at his kids. He's angry at his pets.
What?
He's the type of guy that does something goes wrong for him and he comes home and yells at the dog for it. He's just a lunatic. One time this is rough. He had a fight with his wife, a verbal fight with his wife. So he beat the family dog to death with a baseball bat.
What?
Yeah. That's the type of guy we're dealing with here. Don't worry. He'll be out of the picture soon. We won't have to hear about him. But that's the last dog violence in this episode.
That's the opposite of how that works. If you fight with your wife,
terrible.
Grab a drink, tea. Get yourself a tea.
Doesn't matter.
There's caffeine.
You know what? Keep a bottle of whiskey in the cabinet for situations like this.
Sit down on the couch.
Be an adult.
Put some peanut butter on your finger. I went easy there. And then sit down on the couch and let that dog lick that peanut butter off your finger and see if you don't calm the fuck down.
Well,
see if you don't want to not punch anybody.
You could just pet it, too.
Yeah, that, too.
But
when that dog shows you like that
dog drool and peanut butter off your finger.
He's losing his mind. He's like, this is delicious. It's amazing.
So, my God. Jesus, this guy's a mess. The father The father doesn't believe in modern medicine really either.
Oh, no.
He goes by Brigham Young one time, and his father quotes, I only bring this up because his father is the reason why. His father quotes this all the time, said that doctors that are, quote, a worse set of ignoramuses do not walk the earth, is what he said of doctors. So, yeah. He said that a lot of people said too his mother died of influenza, and he had lost faith in doctors after that too. Okay. So they couldn't even save my mother, blah blah blah. So he's a lunatic basically. He's known as a handsome man though too. He's not like a broken down alcoholic. He's a handsome guy, very confident, but extremely rigid in his religiosity, we'll say here. One time he had a hernia that was just awful. He said his son Dan, one of the ones we talked about here, his son Dan said that he could actually hear his father's guts, quote, sloshing around inside his abdomen for years.
Oh my God.
He didn't do anything. He would just try to push it back into place with his hands.
My grandpa did it.
Yeah, that's what he did.
He's a tough son of a bitch to be able to do that.
Because he didn't believe in doctors? Is that why your grandpa did it?
No, my grandpa did it because it was expensive to fix it.
Okay,
he didn't have the money.
That's different.
He would love a doctor to be whatever.
This guy would have chased a doctor off his front lawn with a shotgun who was trying to help him.
My grandfather would have loved it if one of them needed a trailer hitch. I'll come over and put it on. You fix this shit? I'll fix
do that.
Shit.
That would have been a good deal, actually.
You got anything needing welding? I can take care of it.
You know what? I'm sure a doctor could have used a welding, something for his office, maybe a nice
My
metal.
grandfather would have done
art piece
whatever
for the lobby.
Want.
I don't know. So Dan also says that his father told him a story, what he called a providential story about when Dan was was a baby in his high chair. He was standing in the kitchen where his mother was cooking something. Dan was rocking and trying to get out of the high chair like kids do, and apparently he went forward and fell forward. As he fell forward, the mother turned around to try to catch him, but had a knife in her hand.
Oh my God!
Cooking.
No!
And Dan cut his throat on the knife.
Oh shit!
The baby, not to death. He grows up. He cuts his cuts his throat on the knife.
That could have been way worse.
Oh, it could have been death right there. So the father, obviously, you would rush a child to the hospital for this. The father goes, "Nah, we're going to handle this a little differently." Held Dan over the sink and washed the cut out and let the baby, bleed out into the sink and washed it out and then just taped it up.
Wow.
Taped it.
Unbelievable. What year was this?
The 50? No, this was like 1949, 1950.
Oh my God.
And there was doctors around. Like there was not, but just... That's one of those things that, hey, I don't care what your beliefs are. The baby's throat is cut.
Right.
Take it to someone who can stitch it, please. I don't care what you believe in. If you don't believe in medicine, do you know how to stitch fucking flesh? No? Well, take it to someone who does.
You don't need to if you have tape.
Yeah, just tape it up.
That holds it together, too.
Just butterflied it, and that was good. So basically, they said that he would have these rages that would just, out of nowhere, he'd explode like crazy. Now, one of Dan's daughters, later on, says one of her name's Rebecca. She says one of her first memories of her grandfather, this crazy person, was she was about 4 years old, and the grandfather got her attention by throwing a toy at her, and it hit her in the head. This toy. So she cried in pain, and she said her mother came in and said what happened, and she told him, and then her grandfather lied about it. Grandfather said, I don't know what happened. She did something to herself, and everyone believed him. And she was 4, so she's old enough to remember this. And
no, he threw something at me.
Yeah, so that would obviously scare the shit out of a child. You go, wow, my grandfather's not right in the head. She said, quote, I just knew as a child to stay away from him.
Yeah.
I don't blame him.
Out of anything he can throw's reach.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's fucking nuts. Now, Ron, who's the older brother, he has a different relationship with, he gets really upset at his father for all of this. Most of the kids just kind of take it and hole up and kind of try to shelter together. Whereas he has a different thing. He gets really mad. Ron at one time said, quote, I saw him get mad, talking about his father fighting with his mother. He says, I saw him get mad and bloody her face, bloody her nose. I used to go in my room and curse God for giving me that piece of shit for a father. I shook my fist at God, but I was just too little. If he was bigger, God would have listened, is what he said.
6-year-old 8-year-old screaming, he's a piece of shit.
You piece of shit, father. By the way, he's got a great theory on cursing later. That's fantastic. It's fucking wonderful. So Ron also says, quote, I wanted to kill my father. Every time I saw him hit my mother, which... fair. Yeah. I can understand that. He says that also Ron was a frequent target. He got the shit beaten out of him from his dad a lot because he was an older boy. Yeah. So they would take it out on him. The dog's gone. Yeah. Already beat up the mom. Who's left? All right, here's my older son. Let me punch him.
There is nothing worse than that scream, man.
Yeah.
A woman's
it's fucking horrible.
When she's scared.
It's awful.
It's fucking...
especially your mother.
Right.
So one time he says his father struck him out of nowhere, just punched him for no reason because he was angry at something else. And he said apparently punched him for no reason. And then when the kid was on the ground, his father stood over him and pointed at the mother and said, she's mine. What? Ron was 10 years old. I don't know what that meant. He had a reverse Oedipal thing. I don't know. Reverse Oedipus is a weird thing. I never heard of that before. The father wanted to kill the son to not so they don't fuck the mother. That's a really...
Or he's just explaining to him, this is what I get to do to her.
I guess so. Fuck. I don't know what it is. So old Watson here, that's the father, by the way. Watson here, I mean, imagine growing up under this. Yeah. And then on top of this, he would scream crazy religious things all the time. He was like a very fervently religious. So you add that in with this fear of just an eruption at any time something's going to come, and then he might scream at you about God or who the shit knows.
That either forces you to be extreme one way or the other, right? It doesn't make you go right up the middle with it.
No. One of the kids, a couple of the kids are going to be hippies.
Yeah, for sure.
They're going to live in Portland, and the daughter's going to be like a lesbian and smoke weed and be like, listen, I'm just trying to help the homeless, and that's it. And then the rest of the kids are going to be pastors, and who knows. That's what's going to happen, though.
It's wild.
So that's how it goes with extreme, raising a kid extreme in any direction. So he taught the kids, most of all and above all, Watson taught his children to distrust not only conventional medicine, but above that, God damn it, the federal government. You hate those bastards no matter what. So one time, this is how religious he is, okay, the father. One of his sons shot himself accidentally in the stomach with an arrow.
Oh, my. What?
An arrow. Like a bow and arrow.
He shot it backward? How
I think
that?
If you're trying
you got it the wrong way, Junior.
I don't know what he did. Shot himself in the stomach with an arrow.
That seems like the easiest weapon to operate.
If you were going to commit suicide, it wouldn't be, I'm going to get a bow and push it down with my foot. There's probably very little bow suicides. Bow and arrow suicide.
You really got to try.
You got to want it. That's creative. I feel like detectives would walk in and go, I think he did it himself. Wow. There's one for the books. We got to put this in the yearbook.
If I'm a detective and I walk in, somebody's got an arrow in them, I'm looking for...
No suicide.
There's no way he did that to himself.
No fucking way.
How the fuck did he do that?
I don't know, but he shot himself in the stomach with an arrow, and he needed medical attention, obviously, and this is one of the rare times where he would get it because the kid had a fucking arrow sticking out of his stomach. The father told him, not now, though. I'm not going to take you now. You're going to have to kind of ride this one out till the morning because that's your punishment for breaking the Sabbath. You shouldn't have been out there fucking around on the Sabbath anyway. So as punishment for that, you can wait till morning with the arrow in your stomach.
You go on Monday
night.
Wow. Get in your drawer.
Yeah, with the arrow. They couldn't even close the drawer that night, Jimmy. The arrow was sticking out. Just saw it down. So Ron and Dan became really tight in this mess, as kids often do, just to have someone else to be close to and to confide in.
It's a roller coaster, buddy.
Yeah, you need in times of shit, you hole up with people. So they became best friends, even despite their 7-year age gap. Right. They were both known for fights they got into all the time, and they were both very aggressive physically and shit like that. They grew up kind of like the town was like we said, it's the Footloose town, and imagine it actually in the 50s. Right. It was.
Actually the Footloose town.
It was actually the Footloose town, and they it was very much like described like Andy Griffith, like their favorite fishing hole they went to all the time. Dan and Ron and their 4 brothers would fish at the lake in the summer, and then they'd skate on it when it would freeze in the winter, and they'd go into the woods and make forts and do normal kid shit. Dan felt always that Ron was kind of he was kind of lording over him all the time because he's his older brother. Yeah. So he's like, he always felt like he had his older brother telling him what to do, directing him and shit like that. But he says that he didn't mind it so much. One time Dan says that some bullies gave him some shit, not physical shit, but they were picking on him. And what ended up happening, Ron ended up showing up and beating the shit out of everybody.
Hero.
Yeah. He's 7 years older.
Yeah.
So he's like, if you're 17 and there's a bunch of 10-year-olds, we discussed this on Crime and Sports, I could kick the shit out of just an incalculable number of 10-year-olds. I could just,
one at a time,
you could send them in waves. I don't know, you send them in waves.
Yeah.
I'll kick them off my legs if they hold. What are they going to do? As an adult person,
I will drink a beer while I do it.
I can just spin around with a fist and just they go flying. It doesn't even matter. You don't even have to know how to fight. You could do anything. So
they're rather weak.
Yeah, 17. You're like, yeah, pow, pow. There's target practice if you get to punch kids there. So Dan says about this, when you grow up, I'm sorry, this is Watson Jr. Mm-hmm. Of course, they had to name a junior. This is the oldest son.
There's one in there.
When you grow up in a family where dad gives you a licking, the other siblings console the one who got the licking, and then you compare bruises and kind of look out for each other that way.
Is that how it works?
Apparently so, if you have a lot of siblings. I never had a lot of siblings. So they said the father was a product of the Great Depression. So he was... That's a tough era to grow up in especially in the West, in the Great Depression.
Was there a lot of wife punching in the face in the Great Depression?
Well, yeah, back in the day, people that was just normal to
bloody your wife's face.
It's crazy. He lost his mother when he was 5 to the 1918 influenza deal here. So she says, the one brother says, quote, I don't think he got a lot of nurturing, the father. I doubt it. Yeah. Probably not. Times are tough.
Right.
If you're,
what do you need, a hug? I got to get fucking beans and rice tonight.
He's born in 1913. I mean, those are tough times, man. So, Jesus Christ. Finally, Ron had enough by the time he turned 17. He had it. Ron apparently had gone out early to help a man in the neighborhood bring in his hay. Okay. Very important to bring in the hay crop.
Right.
You can't let the hay crop sit in the field.
No.
You know how it goes. He returned home later that morning, and he was taking a nap on the couch when one of his brothers called him to come pluck some chickens. And so Ron was really tired because he woke up at dawn to carry hay, and he said he wasn't plucking any chickens. So here comes Dad. He's not happy at all. He punches Ron, and Ron this time fights back. He's 17. He's had enough, and he decides this time he starts swinging on his dad.
Yeah,
and at that,
I've been practicing on 10-year-olds. I'm in. Let's go.
Let's do this. Yeah, I've been fucking target practice on those guys. So at that point, he starts punching his father back. Ron says that his father quote was quote running off like a little bitch crying mother, mother. That's what he said.
I like this kid.
Apparently, Jimmy.
Yeah.
What have we said about he's my kind of guy? Let's not go there.
God damn it.
Let's hold off on that.
All right.
Just give me 20 minutes and you're going to go, oh, what a terrible man.
I just like that he fought back and he's saying great phrases.
That's terrific.
Amazing sentences.
Run away like a little bitch. Take that, Dad.
Crying mother, mother.
Yeah. Where's that in the scripture, fucker? So Ron says after that, never had another problem with his dad again. His dad never gave him a drop of shit from then on because he had nothing to back it up with. He knew that Ron would fight back, and then that was the end of it. Yeah. So he said that gave him a new confidence. He felt like he overcame his fucking demon. This was like the thing that haunted him his whole life.
The thing
this
that held him down every single day.
The boogie monster in his closet where he couldn't sleep every day. He finally opened it up and just dragged him out and set him on fire. Burned him alive.
He opened the door, kicked it in the balls, and said, "Shut the fuck up. I'm trying to sleep.
You little bitch." So he goes, at that point, he goes on his mission. Mm-hmm. Is there LDS? He goes on his LDS mission. Ron does. He goes to Florida, and he, with this newfound confidence, we're sending you to the most damned land of all. It's pirates and whores and thieves, son. Be careful.
Got off a plane and was like, "Oh my god!
Oh my god!
I am overwhelmed."
Why are there roosters? Is his first question. Why are there roosters running around everywhere?
Plucking.
What's going on here? Yeah, he's trying to pluck them. People are like, no, it's not what we do here.
Those are just friendly.
No? Oh shit! I've been beating them and plucking them. That's all I know how to do. So he apparently, with this newfound confidence from beating the shit out of his dad, it served him well. He goes to Florida and he's recruiting people left and right during his mission. I mean, he's like the top recruiter over there. He is salesman number one. He's going to win the steak knives. He fucking is winning the set of steak knives. He's
sailboat in the bottle.
He's done it, man. So when he gets back home, he's done so well that he starts moving up in the church. He's like a superstar coming home in the church. Awesome. Oh, here he is with 26 conversions. First guest of the night on the Moses Show. Once again for the Desert Noises, everybody. Give it up for them. Coming out tonight, the most conversions in the state of Florida, and God knows we need it. They need it the most, everybody. It's Ron Lafferty. Come on out, Ron. He comes out. Hey, how you doing?
Invited to the couch and everything.
Oh, my first time, and I'm invited to the couch? Wow. It's impressive. Before that, he did a chicken plucking expo, as you would do.
And they were like, "We'll see you around next time." No couch, not this time.
Shit. All right, that's fine. All right. Oh, good one, guys. Yeah. So he does that. He assumes leadership positions in the church. I don't know what any of this means, but including 3 LDS bishoprics.
Oh.
I don't know what
I think those are Cy Young.
Bishoprics? I don't know what that is. I think, it's like an MVP award.
Right.
Yeah, he had a couple of those. That's not bad. It's a batting title.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, a couple of Golden Gloves.
I mean, his conversion rate was 306, which is really good if you think about it. I mean, it doesn't... a lot of guys are hitting in the 220s in their conversion rate. It's not good.
Pretty impressive.
This guy,
he did.
He'll squeak out an extra bouncer up the middle every once in a while and up his average. So his father here, obviously, his father also made Dan a nut too. He says that Dan's son Rebecca, or Dan's daughter Rebecca. Jesus Christ Almighty!
Dan's son Rebecca.
Dan's son's father's
wow.
She says that the grandfather made her father Dan a little wacky. She said about her father Dan, quote, "He's come to believe that life is hard and that God wants to teach you through pain and punishment. That's his father's mentality. That's how his father raised him." So.
Fucking word.
I would say so. Now, Ron.
I don't want to learn.
No, this sounds awful. You learn by getting punched.
Right.
Now, later on here.
You want to learn? This is going to hurt.
It's all right. Buckle up. Hold on. Let me roll my sleeves up. Wait, I don't want to get blood on my sleeve.
Right.
Now, Ron Lafferty, the son of the older one, he served on Highlands First City Council when it's a town in Utah here, was incorporated in 1977. He served on their first city council.
Awesome.
And what did he do? How did he choose to use that power? He led a successful drive to outlaw beer sales in the town's only grocery store.
You asshole.
Yeah. So that's...
Damn it.
Thanks, asshole.
It's my job to take away the fun.
Now people have to drive an hour to buy beer.
Right.
Thanks, Dick. Yeah. So, Jesus Christ. He was a clean-cut, all-American guy. In the mornings, he'd milk the cows and go do the things with the farm. And he gets married and has children. He has horses and goats and chickens. And he's doing thriving. Yeah. He's a Mormon thriving. Dan is also, he has a family of his own. Ron will end up having 6 children with his wife. Yeah, not too shabby. Now, Dan, he's weird right from the beginning.
Really?
Dan, instead of buying baby food, want to guess what Dan does?
For his babies?
For babies.
Oh, boy. Does he make it?
Oh, you could say that, yeah. He chews the food into a mush and then spits it into the mouths of his children.
Baby birds as kids.
Like a bird.
That's gross.
Or, yes, like that's that crazy SNL sketch.
No.
Which is one of the most nauseating things of all time.
That's so gross.
Yeah. What actress does that? There's an actress that does that, and I can't remember who it was. God damn it.
Is it the girl from Bridesmaids? No,
I don't remember.
Is it older than that?
I don't remember. Some actress in the last 10 years came out saying that's how they feed their kids too, and I was like, whoa.
Oh.
It's creepy.
Was it that
I don't
Kristen
remember.
Bell chick? Did she do it?
No.
I could see her doing that.
Yeah, but they wouldn't give her a Walmart commercial if she was doing weird shit like that. People would be like, is that the chick who chews her food up and spits in her kids' mouths? I'm not buying fucking my shitty inflatable yard pool from there anymore. Right. No, not happening.
I can see her doing that too. She does it and doesn't tell anybody.
Behind closed doors.
Kristen Bell and Dax Shepard.
Dax, turn around. Turn around, Dax. Leave the room.
Two of those weirdos.
But why?
I have to do this.
I'm doing something. It's very important. I care about the health of our child. All right, I guess.
I need him to have sweet face.
I'll go make my podcast, I guess. I don't know. Fuck it.
That's why he's in
not enough that I'm on television and movies.
Right.
I think I'll invade this space where people are. Thanks,
Dax.
Thanks, Dix. Thanks, everybody.
That is a great point.
Thanks.
What
you have enough.
Right.
You have enough.
Don't use this quarantine to get in here.
Hey, Conan O'Brien. You know, you've been on television for 27 fucking years. That's not enough for you? That's not enough for you. Why don't you make 5 podcasts too, you fucking red-haired douchebag? Jesus fucking Christ. I like
friends.
Conan.
No, you don't. You have money.
You have
Fuck
money. You have friends, and more than that, you have 27 years of television show that you've done, you fucking bastard. And I like the guy. But get out.
God damn it.
Get out.
Let us have this.
All of you, out. I'm sorry. If you have been on a television series in the last, say, 24 months, you're not allowed to have a podcast. If you've appeared in a movie and had more than one speaking line in the last 5 years, you're not allowed to have a fucking podcast. Go away.
Me and my girlfriend were famous, and we're going to stay in, and we're just going to make a podcast.
Yeah,
we'll just put it on the internet.
Yay.
We'll get paid too.
Terrific.
God damn it.
Look at you fucking bastards. All right, so.
We want to compete.
Yeah, we're trying. We'll be in like the top 25 in comedy, and you're like. If anybody on that list checks, they must be like, who the fuck are those two idiots?
Why are they doing
Who
this?
are those two? TV show, movie star, TV show. 2 assholes. Who are they? What are they? They're probably ganging up to get us out of there. They don't belong. They're in the VIP room, and they shouldn't be.
Who do you know with an IMDb page? Let's make them do a podcast.
Jesus Christ.
And every fucking week, there's 6 more.
Oh, there's 6 more. Everybody's, it's
fuckers.
Enough. Leave us alone.
We
Go
climb,
away.
and then you have brand new shows, and we push down because of you.
Because of you. So give us reviews and tell your friends to compete with movie stars. Thank you, everybody. That's why we ask you, please do that, because we can't just go, hey, everybody.
I can't put out a tweet to my 400,000 followers.
Hey, my 1.5 million Instagram followers. I'm starting a podcast because I just felt like it because I'm bored. No.
This sounds so fun.
Isn't it fun? So, back to the Laffertys. Oh, man.
Spoiler alert, fucking spoiled-ass celebrities. This shit's a nightmare. It's hard.
Yeah. Well, not for them because they have staffs and shit.
They
and
have other people to do it.
They just sit and record and they go, that was fun. And then someone else edits it and puts it all. That's me.
That was so fun. I just had my famous
Jimmy, you're like a celebrity. You come over and just sit right down and I'll record. Have a good one.
I gotta go, James.
I gotta go. Have a good. Jesus Christ. So anyway, Dan Lafferty here. He's chewing food into mush and spitting it, regurgitating it into his child's mouth. He also later refuses to pay taxes. Or Dan refuses to pay taxes because he believes he's above the laws of man. Not only taxes, he refuses to obey traffic laws. I'm above the traffic laws.
What?
I will not pay federal taxes or stop at that corner because I don't believe in it. Okay. Now,
I can get on board with that part.
Yeah,
I do
that's
hate
fine.
traffic laws.
In 1982, Dan is excommunicated from the church.
For what?
The LDS Church excommunicates him for, well, I was trying to think of what would get you excommunicated, and then I read what he did, and I went, yeah, that'll do it. Trying to take his 14-year-old stepdaughter as a second wife.
No, you can't do that.
You can't do that. You can't make your stepdaughter a sister wife.
No.
That ain't right.
Move to Arizona City, you'll be all right.
Yeah, not within 30 minutes of Salt Lake City. You can't do this shit. I'm sorry. Not within 30 minutes of where the Olympics are going to happen eventually. It's just not going to work. So this is in 1982. This happens. So, Dan's 34 years old.
Oh, God, James.
He decides, I'd like to take my 14-year-old daughter as a second wife.
Stepdaughter.
Stepdaughter, not daughter.
You know that he for sure consummated that.
Oh, I'm sure he did.
Oh, boy.
So he told his brothers, Jesus Christ, Dan tells his brothers that us, me, you,
right.
Couple of the brothers, not all of them. Alan isn't into this at all. We'll talk about that. They have a brother named Alan who's a little I think they're a little fucking nuts. I'm going to hang out over here with the family and not deal with this shit going on here.
Sure.
So Dan tells his brothers, listen, all of us are the true leaders of God's church. This is what nobody understands.
Yeah.
Everybody's out there and they're talking. They go to church every Sunday. They don't realize that they should be talking to us. They're talking to the wrong fucking people. Not only that, they believed him. Too. They were like, really? He's like, I'm telling you guys.
That sounds awesome.
I was told this. And they're like, oh, shit. Oh, damn. All right. So they let their beards and hair grow long to mimic biblical prophets.
Yeah.
That was their angle here.
No.
So this is wow. The 6 of these boys, they now only hang out with each other, the brothers, because,
fuck everybody else.
Well, who else are you going to hang out with and go, what are you going to talk about? What have you been up to? Well, tell you what, did you know that we're the true leaders of God's church?
My brother said
me and my brothers. Yeah, this is we're true leaders. It's weird how it all came out of one family and everything, but my dad's got some golden testes, you see. When he fires out a load, it makes profits. Except for my one sister. She lives in Portland. I don't know, she's got hairy armpits now and shit, but we just don't talk about her. She don't even come for Christmas. Isn't that?
Oh, boy.
So they just do that. Basically, what they would do is complain about the LDS church being not,
not strict enough.
Not strict enough.
Yeah.
I mean, these people, look at them. They're going to let people dance now soon. What's going to happen here? Because this is right after, you have to understand, 1980 is when they outlawed polygamy.
Yeah.
Officially, the church.
Yeah.
So up until then,
people were just doing it.
Polygamy was technically legal in the church. And also, it wasn't until 1978 that they decided that black people weren't terrible, cursed people. Yeah. That was when they started to say, you know what, maybe that whole sliding scale based on skin tone thing. Maybe we're a little off on that. You know what? Because we looked at it, and there's a shitload of dark people that we could recruit. And
there's a shitload of money in those pockets.
What I'm saying is 10%'s 10%.
I'm saying Karl Malone's got a lot of tithing.
That's what I mean. If you look at it, his contract, boy,
I'd love to have some tithing out of Karl Malone.
I'm going to get, guys. I'm going to get tithing out of him, boy. I'll tell you what. So Jesus Christ. So yeah, they're looking for Karl Malone's tithing. They were basically, they would argue about the church, not argue, but talk about the church and about how bad the U.S. government was too. Hated the government, hated the damn
light stays red too long.
Well, it was literally the church and the early 1980s Ronald Reagan hardcore conservative movement. Neither of those were conservative enough for them. They were both like, listen, that's a little, you guys are still weak.
Bunch of pussies.
Now, Ron's wife decided that she did not want to practice polygamy.
Yeah.
And so that's what I mean. The church was reforming, and these guys were like, pussies, don't give in. You're giving in.
Right.
This would be like people who are like, the Catholics are letting people eat meat on Fridays. Right. I'm done.
It's the government and the goddamn IRS taking our money and telling us how to live.
Next thing you know, they're going to be taxing our fish fry. I'm not doing it. So Ron's wife said, in addition to Dan's wife, who said, you're not allowed to marry my daughter as well, but they stayed together. Ron's wife refused to practice polygamy, even though he wanted to, and ended up leaving him. Leaves him. Now, this is great for her. Takes their 6 children. They divorce in early 1984. She takes all 6 kids and gets out of there, goes to Florida to get away from him. He'll never come here.
Again, you either go extreme one way or fucking super extreme the other way.
But that's like, he'll never come here.
Right. Do you notice that always polygamy is dudes with a bunch of wives? It's never a chick with a bunch of husbands.
No. Chick's like, what do I want a bunch of husbands for?
I want that shit
You know how long it takes to train one? Forget about it. I just got him where I want him. I'm going to bring more in now. And the war is going to come in, filling them their heads with tales of freedom and things that are happening on the outside. It's going to ruin all the work I did with the first one. It's going to take me forever. If you get 5 of them together, never mind.
They're going to sit around talking about how they can just do this with 5 other women.
So, I mean, if we get 6, they're just going to play 3-on-3 basketball all day, and I'm not going to get shit done. So 1. Whereas men are like, what if I had a bunch of women to be disappointed with me sexually? Wouldn't that be wonderful? I get 8 of them, and they can all talk about how shitty I am in bed and how little my dick is. Man. So what Ron does is he says, all right, here what we're going to do. This is ridiculous. My wife left. Polygamy's bad. Everyone's frowning on this. We're going to do this ourselves. I'm the leader. Me and my brothers, new sect. New sect. Polygamy's legal. Not only legal, encouraged. Polygamy number 1. Yeah. They gave out foam fingers when you joined. It said polygamy number 1 on it. And they called themselves the School of the Prophets.
Okay.
This was in 1984, and they claimed that they received messages directly from God at this point.
They always do.
One of those messages, his wife Diana left. Now, one of the reasons why she left was she received encouragement from their younger brother Alan.
Oh.
They have a younger brother Alan who's 22 in 1984.
Having none of this.
Or 25. Shit. And his wife, Brenda, thinks that they're all crazy and
knows that they're all crazy.
Now Alan is on the periphery of this too. Alan's like with his wife, like, I know they're fucking crazy. They're my brothers. I got to go hang out with them and talk about the church and the government for a while. But
polygamy thinks that's cool.
I'll come home and tell you how crazy they are. Don't worry, I'm not getting any other wives. She was like, you are not doing these. Like, all right, I know. I'm not doing it. I understand.
Think or understood.
I get it, but I got to go hang out with my brothers. I have to. It's a thing. I'm sorry. It's a thing. Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about a healthy, delicious item, Hero Bread. And we're both trying to get healthier this new year. Jimmy had a eye-opening doctor's appointment and things like that. Yeah. So we're trying to get healthier, and I'm telling you right now, this Hero Bread is a good step in this direction. It's delicious, and it is really good for you, and it's really excellent. They have the sliced bread is good, the bagels, the tortillas. I know you've been
they're terrific.
Ranting about the tortillas. They're so good. With Hero Bread, you can focus on your health goals and still indulge in the soft, fluffy experience you love, but guilt-free. I really love the little Hawaiian rolls, too.
Yeah.
They're so good. They're so good. The Hawaiian rolls, they're legit. They're fluffy. Yeah. They're exactly how you want them to be. You'd never know it's low-carb and high-fiber bread from the texture. You get the soft, fluffy experience you know and love with your savory breakfast sandwich, late-night grilled cheese, Taco Tuesday. Do it. Yeah. No compromises, just flavor, ultra-low net carbs, 0 grams of sugar, high in fiber. It's fantastic. Hero Bread is offering 10% off your order. Go to hero.co and use the code SmallTownMurder at checkout. That's SmallTownMurder at HERO.co.
And now back to the show.
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show and tell you all sorts of good stuff about Chime. That's what I'm talking about. There's so many extra fees you have to pay in life. Everything. You go to the airline, there's an extra ticket on that. There's extra fee on every fees and fees, hotels, fees, all this type of stuff. We're trying to make progress, and the next thing you know, here comes another fee coming at you, and it's more money than you expected, and your whole math is thrown off, and it's awful. Learn more at chime.com/smalltownmurder. Chime is great with that stuff. I mean, you can't beat if your things are a little tight, especially around the holidays or after the holidays. Yeah. You need that money a couple days early, or you go grocery shopping. You got a car payment due. There's so many things that don't cross over exactly how you want them to cross over. Make progress toward a better financial future with Chime. Open your account in 2 minutes at chime.com/smalltownmurder. That's chime.com/smalltownmurder. Feels like progress. Banking services and debit cards provided by Bancorp Bank N.A. or Stride Bank N.A., members FDIC. Spot me eligibility requirements and overdraft limits apply. Boosts are available to eligible Chime members enrolled in Spot Me and are subject to monthly limits. Timing depends on submission of payment file. Fees apply at out-of-network ATMs.
And now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more about our stylish friends at Quince. That's right, let's go elevate your styles, people. Yeah. Get it going, look good out there, and you can do it now without breaking your wallet, without breaking the bank, because at Quince, you can get high-end, versatile pieces at prices we can all actually afford, which is very nice. You want to get good stuff that lasts and it's good, and they have quality stuff that's very affordable, and you can do like we did, upgrading our stuff here, while still being a very reasonable price. Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, responsible manufacturing practices, along with premium fabrics and finishes. It's all quality stuff. You're going to love it. Trust us, it looks good. And I've got the leather jacket. It's a very high-quality item. Real nice, soft leather. Yeah. Jimmy's got his linen pants he's rocking.
Yeah. They're terrific.
Come on, be like us. Be fashionable. Get in there with Quince. Indulge in affordable luxury. Go to quince.com/smalltownmurder for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/smalltownmurder to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
So apparently, Brenda, who was Alan's wife, helped Ron's wife run away to Florida. She was given also now that she helped her like Brenda helped her like emotionally, like you should do it, you should do it, you should do it. Right. I'll help you. You're not doing anything wrong. You're not going against God. Yeah. You're not doing any of this shit.
You're fixing your life. That shit's crazy. Go the fuck to Florida.
That's the thing. So also a man named Richard W. Stowe and Chloe Lowe are two other people who helped. Stowe and Lowe. Mm-hmm. Stowe was a stake president in the Mormon Church, and he drew on the church for resources to give Ron's wife food and money after she left, and to hide her. Yeah. Basically, they hid her because they know that he left the church railing against them. They think he's a nut. Yeah. So if people want to get away from that crazy sect, they're happy to help them get away from it. So they do. They drew on the resources of the church to give her money and shit like that. And Chloe Lowe, who is the wife of a Mormon bishop, counseled her and took her in their home for a short time to hide her, and then they gave her the resources to go to Florida. So,
very nice.
Yeah, he's not happy with this at all. And he also said Ron got a message from God right around the time his wife left.
Yeah. Oh, no.
His message from God said that his wife, there's a reason why she did this, and now it makes sense. Yeah. His wife that left him, she was a bride of Satan in a previous life.
Of course.
So, I mean, when that happens...
Sounds right.
This is what I mean. You have to know who you're marrying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we watch A Glove After Lockup and 90 Day Fiancé. You don't know who you're marrying. No. They could be a bride of Satan in a previous life. You don't know this.
It takes a lifetime to understand who they are today.
Yeah, to now.
Forget about it's hard to figure that out.
Yeah, you could be a bride of Satan. Right. You could be a...
Gotta wait and rely on that God to tell you.
Fuck, man. It's anything's possible.
Now you tell me.
Now Jesus. Thanks, God.
It would have been nice to tell me before I
He shook his fist more. Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks for my shitty father and my bride of Satan wife. Why do I even do this? Why do I bother?
Maybe my father wasn't the piece of shit. Maybe it's you, son.
Maybe you did this. So, in another message, he said he was told by God that 4 people caused all of his problems, Ron says. Yeah. Okay? They caused his excommunication, they caused his divorce, and everything like that. The first one, and most important, being Alan's wife, Brenda.
Of course.
Fuck Brenda, number one.
She's a real bitch.
And their 15-month-old daughter, Erica, is also involved in this plot.
She can't even talk.
Alan and Brenda's, well, you know what? Yeah. She's apparently... According to the word of God. Now, this, like I said, this isn't coming from me, Jimmy. It's the word of God. Who am I to dispute it? They said he believed that she would grow up to be, quote, just as despicable as her mother as well. Mm-hmm. So basically, Brenda just had like another one in line, like a whack-a-mole. Yeah. Like if Brenda left, then her daughter would grow up and do the same thing, just like ruin his life.
She'll be a bitch, then she'll have a daughter, she'll be a bitch.
And it's just going to be this bitch parade.
Shitting on me.
Shitting and bitching, all of them. So Jesus Christ. He spent his days and nights at an old home in Orem, and they called it the farm at this home, and he would be writing what he believed would one day be read as scripture. He's writing the scripture now.
Manifesto.
It's otherwise known as a nutbag manifesto with the word God sprinkled literally in through it. That's all that is. That's all that is. That's what you are. If you're starting your own sect based on words you've heard from God, that's all it's a manifesto.
And if you have to author a pamphlet that is thick. That's called a manifesto.
To explain your position, that has a name. It is called a manifesto. So he started to get really mad, though, and he was very much angry about the people who caused his divorce. Number one, like I said, was Brenda. Number two was, and her daughter, obviously, Brenda and Erica. The kid was, you know what was going on. Also, Chloe Lowe, the LDS Relief Society president who took his wife in and then helped her get to Florida, as well as Richard Stowe.
Stowe and Lowe.
Stowe and Lowe gotta go. The Highland LDS stake president who presided also over Ron's excommunication.
Really?
So he kicked him out of the church and then helped his wife and 6 kids leave him. So Ron is fucking double pissed at him.
Stowe is ruining lives left and right.
Totally.
It's a bad man.
And, of course, like we said, Brenda Lafferty, the wife of Alan. So, now, Jesus Christ. Brenda's doesn't fit into this clan. That's the thing about Brenda. Brenda sounds like a very normal woman. Brenda is, she's a former beauty queen in high school. So she did things like that. She's, just aware of herself. She's a college graduate. She wasn't, just getting married at 18 and started having kids.
And smart.
She's having kids. She had a lot of confidence. Being a beauty queen and a college graduate, being smart and pretty gives you confidence.
It's weird.
If you're smart and good looking, you tend to be confident. It's weird. So, she had confidence.
Dumb and ugly like me is no way to go.
It doesn't work at all. We just shout out crazy things that no one cares about. But if she says something, people go, she might be right.
Tell me more, pretty girl.
Pretty end. That sounded pretty smart. Where'd you graduate? Shit. I didn't go to college. So she would actually say things when things were crazy. She'd be like, listen, your brothers are fucking nuts. This is ridiculous. Like any other normal human being would. Like, imagine any of you out there, if you're a man and you're married, imagine telling your wife any of the things that these guys have just said. What would she say to you?
Propose that to your wife.
That's what Brenda said.
You're going to live.
If
your wife has the same thing as Brenda's response, congratulations. You picked a good one.
That's it. So Brenda, eventually here now, after she helped the wife leave and everything, she stops Alan from joining the School of Prophets.
Oh, no.
He's not allowed to join. My wife said, no, guys, I can't go. I picture him like kicking the dirt in front of him. My wife said, no, can't come out.
She said, I can't help
I got to be in by like 8, so I'm going to go now.
She's more strict than you guys are.
Yeah, it's super weird. That's why I like it there. It's good. So, Ron, of course, very angry at this. I mean, Jesus Christ. This woman drove the wife away. Now the brother's not allowed. She's breaking up the brothers and the family. This is ridiculous. So March of 1984, Ron sits down with a yellow legal pad and writes down one of his scriptures. This is what will be known as the removal revelation. Okay, this is he told his brothers about this and everything after on the other people, because they've started to recruit other weirdos too into the School of the Prophets. Drifters, literally, they'll find drifters and be like, "Nice beard, do you want to join?"
This is Joe Exotic Church.
It's what it is, man. So, this is what it says. Okay, I'll give it to you. Let's get to this. Thus saith the Lord,
oh boy,
unto my servants and prophets. Oh, you see what I mean? He's pious as fuck. It is my will and commandment that ye remove the following individuals in order that my work might go forward.
Oh boy.
For they have truly become obstacles in my path, and I will not allow my work to be stopped. First, thy brother's wife Brenda. First, that it bitcheth Brenda. Brenda, thou bitch. What the fuck?
He gave forth a hit list.
Thy brother's wife, Brenda. There's never been a thy in a hit list before, though, I don't think. And her baby. Then Chloe Lowe, and then Richard Stowe. And it is my will that they be removed in rapid succession. That's what he said. And he called that a divine plan.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
That is neither divine nor a plan. There's no plan in that at all. That's just what? Kill him fast.
Thou bitch, Brenda. Number 1. Thy mouth on her. This guy, what an asshole. So he said this would, he needed Alan. It was part of the divine prophecy is that they needed all 6 brothers. And if this woman is going to pull Alan out of it, what are we supposed to do?
We got 5.
What are we supposed to do? Deny God? What the fuck do I look like?
5-sided star is ugly. We need a 6.
I don't deny God. No. That's what I'm getting at here. So that's what he says. I'm not doing it. So July 24th, 1984, Ron and Dan, they set out in a battered green station wagon. It's a 1974 piece of shit.
Hell yeah.
They roll out in this. This is an 84, but it's still battered. They are driving to Alan and Brenda's house in American Fork. It's a duplex attached to another house. They have with them, first of all, they have 2 drifters with them because I like to hang out with drifters. One is Charles Chip Carnes.
Yeah.
He's 23 years old. And then Ricky Knapp of Wichita, Kansas, who's 24 years old. These are literally, one's from New Mexico, one's from Kansas, just drifters that wandered into town.
Chuck and Ricky.
They've talked them into hanging out with them, and now they're in the car. They also have some other stuff with them, like a sawed-off shotgun, a 30-30 Winchester, a 270 deer rifle, and 2 pearl-handled knives.
My word.
They're coming prepared.
Yeah,
that's a gun for everybody.
A 270 takes down elk, babe. Yeah, that's a lot of weapon.
It's a lot. Yeah. That's what I mean. It's a little much. So, these guys, the drifters had started to wander into the School of the Prophets Church, and so they're hanging out there. Now, Carnes and Knapp, the 2 drifters, they stay in the car. When they get to the duplex, the brothers go inside Brenda Lafferty's house. Yeah. Okay. Okay. What they do in there is fucking horrific. I'll cut to the chase as quick as possible because it's really fucking bad. Basically, they we'll tell you what Alan found here. Yeah. Alan arrives home at 8:00. He's tired, worked. It's 8:00 at night. Walks in the front door and it's locked. They never lock their doors, so he thought that was weird, but who knows? So he used his key. Gets in. There's a TV is on, and there's a baseball game on really loud, which is also abnormal.
She doesn't watch baseball,
and she doesn't watch baseball. Right. That's the other thing. She doesn't like it. He turned off the TV and seemed really quiet. He thought nobody was home, but he said, well, maybe Brenda took the baby and went out or something like that. So he said, quote, I turned to go see if maybe she was at the neighbor's, and I noticed some blood near the door on a light switch.
Oh, Jesus.
And then he saw Brenda in the kitchen, and she is very much not alive, and it is just it's a lake of blood is the best way to describe it. That's how it was described in this book. Now, he calls, he screams out Brenda and she doesn't move. He said he knelt beside her and put his hand on her shoulder. He said, I touched her and her body felt cool. There was blood on her face and pretty much everywhere. So he grabbed the kitchen phone to call the police and call an ambulance or call whoever the fuck you call at this point. Call 911. The phone was on the floor next to his wife. He called 911, but there's no dial tone because the cord had been ripped out of the wall. So he runs down to the bedroom to find that phone, and when he does that, he looks in the baby's room and sees Erica also motionless in her crib, and there's blood there as well. So we don't have to get into the details of that, but so he noticed that also there's blood smeared on the walls. Now he sees it on the doors, on the curtains. He's starting to see all this now. And he runs next door because the phone in the bedroom doesn't work either. So he runs next door and says that he called the police, and then he called his mother also to tell them. And the woman, the next door neighbor, said, I could hear this wail come from the phone. I can't even explain it, to talk of, when she was telling people about it. So that's what happens there. Yeah. Now, the guys, what they did is, so they killed Chloe and Erica. They killed Brenda and Erica. Brenda, they stabbed 15 times, I believe, and the baby, they cut the baby's throat. That's what happened there.
Jesus God.
Which is awful. So, terrible shit right there. So, craziness. And what they say about it later is even fucking crazier. So, next, they go over to Chloe Lowe's house. Mm-hmm. She's next on the list. They find her. They break into her home, and she's not there.
No,
she's not home. That's it. Not home. So they steal a bunch of shit and leave. She's not there. What are you going to do?
No lives to take, but we got TV.
Fuck it. Yeah, we'll take some shit, some jewelry. So then they're on their way to Richard Stowe's house.
Yeah.
He's the guy that, presided over the excommunication. Yeah. Stowe was home at the time. He's using a tractor out front to remove a set of concrete steps with his son. Mm-hmm. So he's easy pickings. Problem is, the guys, no GPS back then, they missed the turnoff to the house and kept driving. And they were like, they got about a mile down the road and said, oh, shit, it's back that way. Fuck it. And they just kept driving.
We missed the turn.
What?
That's all right.
Fuck it. You know what?
We didn't get her either.
I mean, the word of God, blah, 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 but we did half and half. I mean,
50%.
God's got to be happy with that, right? Most people don't listen to him at all. We listen to half. It's pretty good. So the cops immediately suspect Alan. Alan's a prime suspect here.
It's the only people dead. It's his family.
His family.
Yeah.
It looks like, yeah. So,
it's always that guy.
And I found them, and I was the phone was ripped out. I couldn't call you. It sounds very suspicious. So they grill him all night. I mean, which is horrible.
Poor bastard.
This poor bastard, exactly. They assumed he was the murderer, obviously. Now, Alan, though, says, no, it's not me, but I know who the fuck did it.
Yeah.
Probably my brother. You want to talk to him, the oldest there. Talk to Ron first. And so that they obviously that's a lead.
Yeah.
They said that he'd been traveling around the West for the last 3 months with Dan, and so they put an APB out for the 1974 Impala station wagon, and the police look at it and they say the slayings appeared to be ritualistic, which was odd, obviously. And this was very big news when this was announced around
I can imagine.
Huge. This was also on Pioneer Day, which is a huge Mormon thing.
Oh, Jesus.
They did it on Pioneer Day. Yeah, it's a giant Mormon thing.
A kid that isn't even 2.
Not even 2. Ridiculous.
Oh, boy.
So July 30th, 1984, they find Ron's Impala. Mm-hmm. It's parked out in front of a house in Cheyenne, Wyoming. So the police gather up. The state police raid the home, hoping to find the Lafferty brothers, but they don't. They are not there. They do arrest Ricky Knapp and Chip Carnes, who are the 2 drifters there. They take them in, so they get taken in. They don't find the brothers for almost 3 more weeks. They finally
3 weeks.
3 weeks. They finally find them August 17th, 1984. They went to Wendover and then over to Reno, and they were arrested. This is the saddest shit ever. They were arrested in the casino buffet line.
Oh no!
At Circus.
In Vegas?
No, in Reno. Reno Circus buffet line.
God,
you know what?
It.
They did you a favor that you didn't eat that fucking food, because it was probably horrible.
Blue and
that sounds terrible.
Yeah,
that's fucking disgusting.
Bad food.
I am not eating that.
Oh shit!
Jesus Christ!
Wasn't that in Vegas Vacation? They were eating buffet, and he goes, "Give me a little bit of the blue."
Yeah, it's the blue, and he slaps it on his plate. And that was in Vegas,
right?
What do you think Reno's like? Yeah, Reno's like fucking Laughlin had syphilis.
Yeah,
it's not good.
I've stayed at Circus in Vegas, and the carpet was a different pattern than the that little bit of carpet that rises up. It was a different print than that.
Slice it on the ground.
Why did we even do? Nope. Why did we make an effort? It's a
why bother? The other one's
still clean.
It's not as stinky. The stuff on the wall.
We don't have to replace that.
Nobody can walk on that. They don't walk on walls. What are you gonna do? It's fine for now.
$89.95 a night. Gross.
Jesus Christ. Now Dan, when he's arrested, Jesus Christ. He tells the arresting officers, quote, "You think I've committed a crime of homicide, but I have not."
Oh.
He insists after that he's completely innocent of the crime, but he doesn't deny killing them. What's his excuse? How does that happen? He says, quote, "I was doing God's will," which is not a crime.
Oh.
Just God's will. God said, "Thy bitch-ass wife Brenda, thy brother's bitch wife Brenda, musteth die." And I kill. What the fuck is the problem?
Stop signs and bitchy wives. They all got to go.
I'm not doing it. Throw taxes in there, too. So Ron also, he's very open about his religious beliefs. He does an interview right away. The reporters get to him and he says, quote, "The prophecies are about to be fulfilled," is what Ron says. Then he also says, Jesus Christ, I think I noted that as a revelation when I was in the school of prophets. Yes. And they said, words from God? And he said, yes. And then he said he didn't murder Brenda and the daughter. He said, quote, "Why would they execute me? They don't have any grounds. I'm innocent of all those stupid charges." And they said, you never killed Brenda Lafferty? And he said, no, I never admitted to that. And then he never talks to the press again, Ron. Literally never talks to the press again. A lawyer told him,
ever. Shut the fuck up.
Dan certainly likes to yap.
Yeah?
Oh, boy, Dan will talk to anybody that'll talk to him. He'll give you any...
He doesn't understand...
He'll tell you all your crazy shit.
That a prophecy just happening versus like telling people go murder these people and then that happening.
It's a little different.
Entirely different.
Yeah. He just said, I've been told to murder people, then I told people to murder people. Right. And that's not a prophecy. It's just I said to do it. I'm the only one that heard the word of God.
You convince homeless drifters to go kill people. That's what you did.
So right away, competency's an issue.
Yeah.
Because they want to, whatever. Ron and Dan, they refused appointment of counsel. And so because of that, and they had really weird behavior during their arraignment, they would shout out and curse at the judge and shit like that. So they said, the state's probably going to want to make sure they're competent. So they file a petition for inquiry into their competence, and they get a bunch of reports from psychiatrists and psychologists. And now... Wow. Dan, he says this is what ends up happening, because he'll say exactly what happens.
Yeah.
I mean, he says, and this is crazy. He says shortly after noon, he and Ron and the two drifters they'd been traveling with, they drove to the apartment, Alan's apartment. And he said that inside there, he found, they found Erica first, and he said, quote, "I spoke with her to her for a minute. I told her, I'm not sure what this is all about, but apparently it's God's will that you leave this world. Perhaps we can talk about it later."
Wow.
And he said then he like we talked about, I don't have to go into it more. He killed the child. And then he said he calmly walked into the kitchen and used the same knife to kill Brenda. He
said those words out loud.
Yeah, he told the reporter straight up. Yeah, I told her this, the baby, and had a conversation with her, and then I murdered her.
And I sent her.
Murdered a baby, no problem. Yeah. Mm-mm. So Stowe and Lowe, they ask him about them, and Dan says, "I would have killed them the same way, but once the next step didn't happen, I knew it wasn't meant to be. Once Chloe wasn't home, there wasn't much enthusiasm for it. They just lost our
drive.
Sometimes you just lose your luster.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what? I've been having fun, but at this point, like, it's over. It's like it was fun for a while, but I don't know, not enough enthusiasm for it. Let's go to Circus instead.
I got enthusiasm for a bad buffet, but not murder.
That's what it is, man. So, a neighbor here said that her 14-year-old daughter used to babysit Erica 3 days a week, and she said on the day of the murder, Brenda called and asked for her daughter to babysit. Mm-hmm. And Pace says that she had an uncomfortable feeling and didn't want her daughter to go out that night. And the mother says, quote, "She could have been there. The thought had crossed my mind a lot. As a mother, I feel so bad for what Brenda went through, but as a mother, I also feel grateful that my daughter wasn't there."
Yeah.
Obviously, because they probably would have killed whoever was there, I assume.
Oh, boy, would they.
God, is this cool? Mm-hmm. All right, and start stabbing.
This one, too?
Oh, shit. Well, you heard God. Oh, you didn't? Well, I did.
I did.
Don't worry about it.
That's what matters.
So they charged everybody, all four of them, with 2 counts of criminal homicide, 2 counts of aggravated burglary, and 2 counts of conspiracy to commit homicide. The 2 drifters plead guilty to lesser charges in exchange for their testimony. They're like, we don't believe in any of this shit.
Yeah.
How little time can we spend in prison? Because they weren't even in the house when this shit happened. They stayed outside the whole time. They were in the car. They just went along for the ride. So October 1984 is when we start Ron's competency journey, which is crazy. You have to, by the way, listen to the end of this, because Dan really goes into crazy philosophical shit later on from prison that is bonkers. We got to talk about it. It's crazy, funny, crazy shit. So Ron, the first assessment occurred, the trial court said to do it, because he would claim that basically he refused the appointment of counsel because he said that he would claim the state was without jurisdiction to try them because God directed their actions. Right. So obviously you have no...
Unless you got God in here.
Yeah, so...
It ain't worth it.
This is the exchange that happened between him and a judge. Okay? This is fucking... He said this to a judge in court.
Who's probably LDS.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
The judge said, quote, "This is a temporal court." In other words, of the people, right. Human, whatever, right. Earthly way. It's structured along the lines where people deal with people's problems. And as to where truth comes down in that setting, that's the way the system is, to have the truth come out. But it's from people, from so-called witnesses and others who've had some association with or knowledge of the facts that are important. So Ron says, quote, "So this court's not prepared to deal with matters pertaining to religion and that sort of thing. Is that what you're saying?" And the judge said, "Well..." And then Ron cut him off and he said, "Or spiritual matters?" And the judge said, "Well, this is not a spiritual court. This is a temporal court." And Ron says, "I needed to know that. Thank you." And the judge
said... We'll be leaving now.
Yeah, the judge said, "I'll proceed with you, Ronald Lafferty, to the information and the 5 counts, therefore, that have just been presented. Are you prepared at this time to enter a plea?" 6 counts, excuse me. And Ron says, "I guess I'm not, Your Honor, because of the statement that you made, because of the religious overtones and the spiritual overtones in this matter. You mentioned that this court doesn't deal with that sort of thing, so it seems to me, perhaps you don't have jurisdiction here, sir." As a result, I'm not prepared to enter a plea because I don't want to give up my right to challenge the jurisdiction of this court, sir. So the judge says, "The court will then enter a not guilty plea on your behalf." Thank you. Like, what do we even bring him here for? Jesus Christ. So they also had him examined then and had another hearing. Both of these people.
How great is that? Wouldn't it be great to just look at
his arms crossed,
dead in the face and go, "You got no jurisdiction.
You don't have any jurisdiction. I'm sorry.
You're unqualified."
Clearly a matter of God. You said it yourself. I didn't say you weren't. This wasn't God's court. You said it. So, hey, what do you want from me? A couple people, one of these doctors testified in his opinion that he tentatively diagnosed Ron with a mental illness as paranoid delusional state. The court concluded that after hearing that he was still competent, though. 2 physicians examined him again in October 84. They believed he was incompetent. One of the doctors limited his conclusion. He said that the defendant, quote, "may not be competent to proceed with the court process because of his mental illness." And then another doctor interviewed him and found him cooperative, although one noted that he refused to take any written psychiatric tests. So he's like half cooperative. A Dr. Grossbeck, reported that Ron was well aware of being charged with murder, but refused to accept appointed counsel because he felt that all lawyers are corrupt.
Yeah.
He said that Ron could very quickly and easily outline the functions of the judge, attorneys, defendant, and jury, and noted he was fully oriented to time, place, and person. So not crazy is what they're saying. In addition, he knew he faced the death penalty and insightfully avoided discussing anything incriminating. They said that his intellectual level appeared to be average or above average. But both doctors thought that he was incompetent due to mental illness. They wrote he suffered from grandiosity and was afflicted with paranoid personality system or disorder, which, sounds about right. Or he's just an asshole.
Right.
Either that or we've concluded that he may just be an asshole. Perfect. Perfect. So, Jesus Christ. They said that he couldn't effectively represent himself and questioned his ability to assist his attorney appointed for him because they want to defend themselves, both brothers, obviously. Next evaluation comes a month later, and this one comes not from the court's directive. This comes from the prison because he attacked a guard. And the guard requested that he get a competency exam to see if he should be even in the prison. Apparently, the guard said that Ron seemed, quote, physically out of control and did not appear to be mentally in control of his faculties at the time of the attack. Apparently, he just went on like a berserker attack on him here. So a team of doctors, including a clinical and a forensic psychologist and 3 physicians, examined him for 22 days. That must have been a trip. Yeah. Imagine having that guy behind glass like a fucking experiment for 22 days. Ask him this. He's
like breathing holes in
see what he says about this. I just want to play with him. So, 22 days. Jesus Christ. So they found him incompetent there, and but then in November, he was found competent again. They keep going back and forth whenever they
How long was the one in November, though? Because if it's 22 days and that deems you as incompetent, any other test, look, we had him for almost a month.
Well, that's what they say. They say that the November exam, which was more thorough, would get rid of the October exam, the one that said he was competent. This one says he's not competent. So they said that during the exam, his limited willingness to participate in formal psychological testing was noted. His paranoid traits were also recognized, along with his fundamentalist religious beliefs and fervent interest in strict interpretation of constitutional law. What a dick this guy is. God, he's one of those people. Fuck, I swear to Christ, if he was out of jail right now, he'd be like a Tea Party Congress member. That's an exact fucking thing. I'm not making a political judgment. Those guys are fucking crazy. Yeah. If you don't think they're crazy, you wouldn't be listening to the show if you didn't think they were crazy. You're too normal.
Right.
You're too just normal to think that, fucking Jesus Christ. Goddamn Constitution.
Your Confederate flag and
we all like
don't tread on me flag.
Constitution's great, but calm the fuck down is what we're getting at. So they also persuaded him to take 2 psychological tests, including an IQ test and the inkblot test as well. The IQ showed an above average intellectual ability, while no evidence of formal thought disorder was suggested here. Some history compiled that they think he once suffered from bipolar disorder, but there was no signs or symptoms of it during the exam that had been there. That said, like it's there now, basically. Mm-hmm. So November 28th, 1984, they hold a hearing here following all this evaluating. And at the hearing, Jesus Christ, him and his brother both attacked the doctor's conclusions, arguing that they're not incompetent, goddammit. They are competent, and not only are they competent to stand trial, they are competent and capable of representing themselves at trial as well.
And they're going to kick your ass this Sunday at WrestleMania.
God damn, that's what it is, inside the steel cage. Ron maintained his main reason for refusing appointed counsel was because we feel we have our own best interests at heart. He felt he was competent for these reasons, and he took issue with the paranoid personality disorder diagnosis, which, according to him, was made on the basis of his divine revelations, which who the fuck are you to judge my divine revelations?
He hates this because it discounts all of his legitimacy as a prophet.
That's the thing.
It ruins it all.
Yeah, you're just a crazy person. Right. No, I'm a prophet.
No, I'm amazing.
Wow, what are you talking about? He's like John Travolta in that movie where he's got like a tumor, but he thinks he's magic or whatever. I don't remember what the fuck it was. So... I don't know. He's got something wrong with him.
He's magic.
You know what I'm saying, right?
It's pretty awesome.
The way to describe it.
It probably should have been on the back of the DVD.
I think so. Just that picture of him.
Yeah.
He's got a tumor, but he thinks he's magic.
But he thinks he's magic.
Hey,
enjoy the movie.
Here you go. You can fill in the rest, right? Can't you? Come on.
For 50 cents more, you can make that a large popcorn.
Yeah, it's perfect. So now he says this in court. He reads this statement. Quote, this is Ron. And the delusion system, or the problems that Dr. Washburn, he means, mentioned here. I don't understand these long words here. He relates that to the fact that we claim to have received direct revelation from God, which of course we do claim, but we have been taught since we were knee high to a grasshopper that was what we were supposed to do in the church that we were in. So this shouldn't be such a shock to an individual, especially when the individual is a member of the same church. Judge, you fucking Jack Mormon.
You know
twat. You know what I'm talking about. So yeah, they during this hearing, they acted as their own counsel, called to question various witnesses in the state who were equated with them.
Like knee high to a grasshopper
to be a crazy motherfucker. So
that's your counsel.
They called none of the witnesses as experts, or experts as witnesses, obviously. During this 2-day hearing, a hearing to see if you're crazy where you represent yourself. That's gold. That's amazing.
That's balls.
During the hearing, the court told them numerous times, what they called in court documents, painstakingly explained how foolish it was for them to represent themselves. During the time, the court saw how they behaved in these discussions and further observed them dealing with witnesses. But in the end, the court rules that they are competent. And it said that if either of them suffered from mental illness or a clear preponderance or clear preponderance of the evidence did not reveal that they were so impaired they couldn't comprehend the nature of what they were doing. Yeah. So there you go. Competent for trial, fuckers.
That ruined it.
Yeah. So now they're competent. They can represent themselves, and stand trial.
Were they trying to argue that they weren't competent?
No, they were arguing that they were competent.
Okay,
and they won. They won. That's what I mean. They clearly...
He gets it.
I don't know if they're sane or not, but they really want this bad. So let's just give it to them. Fuck it. So they're supposed to stand trial together in January of 1985. But on December 30th, 1984, Ron Lafferty tries to hang himself with a T-shirt in prison. T-shirt tied to a towel rack. He's found barely breathing and unconscious. He is, he's revitalized or whatever and reanimated. His court-appointed attorney says that the act damaged his brain, causing him to lose memory and the ability to control his emotions. So
convenient.
A judge granted a motion allowing them to be tried separately so they can get Dan's trial over with and deal with Ron later. So this prompted more mental health examinations and everything like that. They say the hospital team concluded after 20 days of evaluation that he was incompetent and exhibited numerous signs of organic brain damage from the hanging. So they said that his IQ was 20 points lower than they got 2 months ago from him from losing oxygen. And they said that after a while though, he started to get function back and he started to recover from this. And he generally remembered what happened and told one doctor his personal problems were caused by others, which is obviously what he does all the time. He named Chloe Law.
Yeah.
As a person who intruded in his family affairs. This is when he's coming out of this whole thing, and said, quote, "This wouldn't have happened if Chloe Law had minded her own business."
Low.
Obviously. Did I say low again? Law again?
Yeah.
Low. So, obviously, he does not like Chloe Lowe.
No.
It's not,
that
Lowe and Stowe are not
bane.
good. So, January 28th, 1985, here's another hearing for Ron. This is when they go over all this shit, all of his loss of oxygen and all this type of shit. So that goes on, and they say the court finds him incompetent at this time and remands him to the state hospital for further treatment and schedules another hearing for April to try to figure out when he can go on trial. But Dan's trial comes up, and he represents himself.
Yeah.
And it's a shit show, as you might imagine. He had two attorneys standing by. They had both drifter witnesses sitting there. It didn't go well for Dan.
No.
Jurors convict him. He is found guilty of 2 counts of first-degree murder and 4 other felonies here. But when sentencing comes up, the jury gets together. You, sir, they do not... you may fuck off, but they do not. They're unable to vote unanimously on the death penalty, and he's sentenced to 2 life terms.
That's all right.
So they can't come to an agreement on the death penalty, even though he said he cut a baby's throat.
Right.
Which I'd be like, well, let's kill him now. What do you say?
How forgiving.
Anybody got like a pocket knife on him? Let's stab him right in the temple. This motherfucker. Somebody do it. So April 2nd, 1995 is Ron's last competency hearing. Boy, there's some weird shit coming up here. The same 4 examiners again. They're like, this guy's hilarious. Can you imagine?
We get a take 2?
For 4 months, they've been looking at this guy. They got to be like, this is fascinating. He's fascinating.
Unbelievable.
This report concluded by these 4 that Lafferty was not competent due to a paranoid delusional system that severely impaired his ability to perceive and interpret reality. Doctors Howell, Austin, and Grossbeck also testified in support of their findings. The gist was that Lafferty physically knew the nature of the proceedings against him and the possible consequences. He was unable, as a result of his paranoid delusional system, to interpret them in a realistic way, because he didn't know. They said in the delusional system, Lafferty believed that the examining doctors, the court system, and personnel, and his own lawyer were part of a corrupt man-made order which he rejected and which he believed was actually on trial, not him. So he thought he was trying to prosecute the outside forces. Because of these delusional beliefs, the doctors said that he couldn't cooperate with the lawyer. The final competency hearing here was those 3, and then a 4th doctor comes in who didn't examine him for 22 days, and he said he's fucking fine. He goes, I looked at him for a minute, he's good. He said
that one guy said he's okay.
One guy said he's good. He said, I think he's fine.
The other 3 are like, you think he's a fucking nut?
Yeah, they said they attributed any of his lack of rationality due to a personality change caused by oxygen deprivation. They said that now, this is the doctors who say he's crazy, as a result, they said his religious beliefs were now so delusional they interfere with his ability to meaningfully function, either independently in a courtroom or with the aid of counsel in a courtroom. So Wow. Also, he had a seizure, apparently, that involved his left hand and arm, and a doctor's note that said he was having trouble playing pool. He forgot which ball was the cue ball and whether he was supposed to hit the striped or colored balls. Okay.
He's hitting the black one?
Yeah, they said he suffered from amnesia and paranoia. Mm-hmm. So the prosecutor said that he's full of shit and that he can assist his counsel. He understands the proceedings, and we should move on with this goddamn shit here. He's a crazy son of a bitch. We knew that to begin with.
Right.
No reason to let him off the hook here. So the judge, after hearing from the lawyer, the one doctor saying Ron's fine, said, quote, although the defendant may be operating within a paranoid delusional system, there's no evidence except a suicide attempt of irrational behavior within that system or within the system of his religious beliefs. In fact, his refusal to cooperate, assist counsel, or admit that he's amenable to the laws of the state of Utah are all consistent with his paranoia and any delusional system pertaining to his religion. So they find him competent to stand trial.
Hell yeah.
So since he's super crazy, but we like his brand of crazy. Right. It's just the right amount of crazy.
1 in 4 doctors agree he can go forward.
Yeah, so it's really fine. He apparently did crazy shit in court too. He would yell at the judge. He was completely uncooperative with his lawyers. Jesus.
Did he bring those 3 doctors in to say he's not competent?
Like no.
Really?
You're not. It's a long story legally of what you're allowed to bring in. But the defense is really weird. The judge said that he consulted with his attorney quite frequently at the counsel table, and that to him was a sign that he was, whatever. He says that his observations left him more convinced now that he was competent to proceed. So there we go. So April 1985 is Ron's trial. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, one of his brothers, Watson, testifies that Ron had bitter feelings toward Brenda and referred to her as that bitch Brenda.
Hell yeah.
All the time. It's just like we thought. Poor Brenda. Jesus. And a neighbor here, Knapp, one of the drifters, he said he was in the station wagon in the driveway. He testified that Dan forced his way into Brenda's home and he could hear an argument. That's what was going on. And the brother also, he testifies that Ron, like I said, called her that bitch. Now, the drifter here, Knapp, he was the one testifying that Dan forced his way in and that he could hear an argument out in the car. He said that Ron, the drifter told Ron, why don't you go inside and help your brother? I hear arguing and shit going on. Who knows what's going on? So then Ron went inside and he could hear Brenda begging for her life, basically. And, begging them not to hurt her kid and shit like that and crying and stuff. And then he testified, quote, then there was just no more crying. Oh boy. The other drifter, Carnes, he said on the way to Nevada, Ron Lafferty pulled a knife out of his boot and started to bang it on his knee. And he said, quote, I killed her. I killed her. I killed the bitch. I can't believe I killed her. Okay. Then he handed the knife to Dan and said, thank you, brother, for doing the baby because I don't think I had it in me. That's what he said. Dan replied, what? It was no problem.
Oh, my God.
Super easy. God said to do it, so super easy.
You got it, brother.
No problem at all. So Alan takes the stand as well to recount finding what he found. Ooh, if you're a jury, that's going to... Man, he testified that he never took Ron's revelation seriously and was always trying to distance himself from the brothers, and that's when his wife was a part of that. Now, the defense here, Jesus Christ.
How do you defend that?
During the trial, the court ruled that the expert medical evidence admissible on the lesser included offense of manslaughter. The Ron's counsel began to present the evidence. Ron refused to let him proceed. He wouldn't let him proceed with putting evidence out. Contrary to the attorney's forcefully expressed belief that the presentation was imperative, as a result of his decision, the attorney was left with no option but to rest. Basically, he wouldn't let him put on a defense. That was it. So he is convicted, guilty of capital fucking murder.
Right.
And the jury comes back here with the sentencing, and they say, you, sir, may fuck off Death penalty for Ron.
Oh, wow.
Ron gets the death penalty. We don't need his crazy ass around here anymore.
Dan cut a baby's fucking head.
Yeah, and he got life.
Unbelievable.
But Ron gets the death penalty because it's his idea.
Right.
It's all coming from him.
Right.
He wrote a scripture, the prophecy
point.
saying that thy Brenda bitch die.
Right.
And, crazy shit like that. Good God here. So yeah, so he's convicted, obviously. So they said that also the way he was arguing with his attorney not to present shit showed that he knew what was going on. He knew that if his attorney presented this, it would be good for his case, so he wouldn't let him do it. So they said that it was even further proof he was competent. But 1991, he appeals. Saying the original trial judge failed to adequately address his mental competency. Okay, and out of this, he ends up getting a retrial. Out of this whole thing. Yeah, they said that this is one of the they say that the judge absolutely did that, was too quick to call him, whatever. But then somebody here, one of the opinions of one of the justices here said, quote, I doubt whether the court would be so quick to hold an individual incompetent to stand trial who refused to raise an insanity defense because of an unorthodox political beliefs. For example, tax protesters and other political protesters are often in court expressing their extreme and inaccurate beliefs about the Constitution in bizarre ways. Although these individuals are wrong and may make decisions contrary to their best legal interests, they're not necessarily incompetent. Like Mr. Lafferty, they may possess a factual understanding of court proceedings and can, if they choose, consult with a lawyer with a reasonable degree of rational understanding. When one is judged incompetent for rejecting his attorney's advice, we will then have truly established elitism of the bench and bar. Yeah. So basically, it's your right to be a crazy fuck who won't take obviously pertinent legal advice. That's your right, so we shouldn't call you crazy just because you're crazy. Okay.
Is it that what they're saying, or is he just saying, like, if you don't, just because you don't believe that this is accurate doesn't mean that you're not?
Well, he said you wouldn't call somebody, because they're saying he's crazy because this is religiosity. Yeah. He's saying you wouldn't call someone crazy because they're a tax protester and didn't pay their taxes because of their constitutional beliefs. Yeah. Yes, because the Constitution exists as laws and things that actually happen. The rest of it, the Word of God, can be interpreted differently by every person on earth. Right. It's a different, you know what I mean?
See, David, correct.
I'm going to make any I'm not going to make any judgments on it, but I mean, let's face it. Yeah. We know what happened with one Word of God can be individually interpreted. Because there's different people saying God speaks to me, so who knows?
Very well documented how the Constitution happened, why, and what it says.
And you can change it. That's the other thing.
Right.
You're allowed to change shit. There's amendments. So it's well, they did it for hundreds and hundreds of years, but it'd be harder now.
Yeah.
So 1996.
Now you know the guy that's erasing shit.
Yeah. Ron's retrial here. He has a retrial. During this, he spews expletives at the judge.
Awesome.
As much as possible.
Hell yeah.
He wore a sign during the entire retrial.
Like a fucking sandwich sign?
That said exit only.
What?
On the seat of his pants, he put that sign. He says, why did he do this?
Yeah.
To ward off evil spirits he believed wanted to enter his body through his anus. He said that in court.
They're crawling through the back door.
They said, sir, why do you have that on? And that's literally what he said. He ward off evil spirits. They want to enter my body through my anus. The judge said, you know what? I'm going to let it go. That's fine. You're sitting down most of the time.
Keep it going.
Whatever, dude. I'm not going to argue with you about that. So at his second trial, Daniel testifies and says, I killed everybody. Ron didn't do shit. Really? I killed everybody. Yeah. But another member of the group here says that, obviously testified that Ron took out his knife and said, I can't believe I killed her. I killed her 5 fucking times. So he's saying, no, Ron killed Brenda. Dan killed the baby. That's how it went. So that's how that goes. So Ron is again found guilty of murder. Obviously. You, sir.
Take your sign and
fuck off. May fuck off again. Die again, fucker. Yeah. So to another death sentence here. And it's fucking amazing too. Everybody thinks, they're going to execute him eventually here. He gets to choose, because it's Utah, how he wants to die. He takes firing squad.
Yeah, he does.
Okay. That's that's the most dramatic. Yeah. That's the one where if you're a would-be prophet, that's how you're going to die. It's so super dramatic. Yeah. It's not just clinical in a room. It's like, I'm going to get, like, it's like combat. They're going to, so,
this 1700s. This is going to be amazing.
Yeah. So one of his lawyers says that he's chosen that, but she doesn't believe he's mentally fit to even have stood trial. She says, quote, Mr. Lafferty believed his incarceration and conviction were the result of a conspiracy between the state, the church, and unseen spiritual forces, including the spirit of the trial judge's deceased father, among others.
Oh, boy.
He believed, I'm not done yet. He's not done, I should say. He believed that all of his attorneys were working against him. Oh, boy. Yeah. And that one attorney was actually his reincarnated sister, Ron's reincarnated sister, who later became possessed by an evil spirit.
Holy shit.
And now he's his lawyer. I don't know what to say about that. This attorney says a person suffering from this level of mental illness and delusional thinking is not competent to assist his counsel through legal proceedings. He's crazy. Yeah. 2001 appeal. Here he has the Utah Supreme Court affirms his conviction and his sentence. Fuck off. He says this is based on evidence saying that Dan's testimony said he committed the murders, not Ron. So obviously, he shouldn't be there in prison. I should be out on the streets preaching the good word.
Obviously.
So, 2004 now, it's still going on, still not executed.
No.
Murder's 20 years old. Still not executed. The Utah legislature ended the execution option in 2004 for what you get to pick what you want, except for inmates who have already been sentenced to die and selected their method. So you get your grandfathered firing squad in. Otherwise, they're going to tell you how to die. So, this whole thing, I guess, has been agonizing for Brenda's family, obviously. One of her relatives here says, why can't we be done with it? Why can't this be done with? There's a lot of anger that his sentence hasn't been carried out. We're constantly reminded that they're still here at a great cost to the taxpayers. Not only do you lose somebody, but you continue to lose them every time it comes up in court. I just hope people remember who Brenda was. She was a fun person with a lot of energy and personality. She has not been forgotten. Good. That's good. At least Brenda had her say a little bit. Now, they said that she hopes one day the Laffertys will be forgotten, but now they're still sitting there in prison. Wow. Like I said, this was, they talked to, in this article from 2004, they talked to some of the people in the town. By the way, I still have some crazy shit coming up from Dan that he says in prison.
Awesome.
It's wild. So, they talked to these people. One of the neighbors, this is the American Fork police chief at the time. He says, I'm sure old-time residents remember. It's one of those threshold events that people just don't forget. And then one neighbor stepped in and said, I don't think I'll ever forget. So, yeah.
I, for one, never going to forget.
He's right.
Yeah. That's our 9/11.
Yeah. My blood ran cold that day. Another one said, it damaged so many people's lives. It's amazing how many people it hurt. The American Fork police chief said that he spent 12 hours at that crime scene. Other officers had nightmares of warm blood dripping down their arms. People had this damaged, mentally.
Oh my God.
This fucked up. They're not used to seeing this.
Yeah.
They're not like a Baltimore homicide detective that sees a lot of shit and they're like, it's another baby fucking set on fire again. Jesus Christ. They don't see shit like this. Yeah. So when they see what I told you happened to that baby, that's going to fuck you up if you're not used to seeing that shit.
I don't think I'd ever get used to that.
No, you would if you were
seeing that every day.
If you were a coroner, you would.
No,
they do. Those coroners don't give a fuck.
Those people are nuts.
Fuck those because they do it all day. It's all they deal with.
I don't know how they do that.
In the homicide book, the David Simon book, they talk about how they'll watch an autopsy and then go be like the challenge then is to go out and try to get some grossest food possible, like the rare roast beef or the shit like that.
The most fucking bloody sandwich.
Yeah. The cops say babies are different, though. That fucks them up, too.
Oh, my God.
Because they have kids and shit like that. It's not okay. So,
a firing squad execution would do that to me. I don't know that I can
that'd be fucking horrible.
It's how many guys is it? Is it 10 and only one guy's got a bullet, or is it 7? Either way, there's only one bullet live in those guns.
And those an extra.
No,
I don't know.
I believe it's only one.
So either way,
it's fucking crazy.
It's crazy shit. So we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it in the bonus episode this week when we talk about botched executions. The firing squad's the least botched method of execution. Actually,
I'll bet that's true.
We'll talk about it. Yeah, we'll talk about that and last meals as well. Patreon episode. So the rest of the Laffertys here, only one of the 6 brothers stayed in Utah. The rest of them scattered for places where everyone didn't know about what happened and
never heard of them.
Yeah, exactly. Not known as the crazy family who killed babies. So one neighbor said, quote, even after all this time, you mentioned the Laffertys, and that's all people think of. How much pain can one family bear? Another neighbor said, I love Alan. I care about him and hope things are okay. Everyone looked at him like, what's your part? What was your part? But Alan was a good-hearted man. I just hope he's found some peace in life. This guy got
poor bastard.
He lost his wife and baby, and then not only that, his brothers, he had to testify against his brothers and kind of excommunicate himself from his family, and then everyone else thinks he's part of that, so there's nothing he could do. His life was just incalculably fucked. He had to leave Utah. God. You'd have to.
It's like being one of the Arquettes.
Yeah, it is. Except,
are any of them
less crazy.
Yeah.
These people are less crazy than the Arquettes. So at least David. I don't know about the rest of them.
He's wild, man.
He's out there.
Yeah.
So other people, one of Brenda's former next door neighbors, they wonder why Alan didn't warn his wife about the revelation when the brother told him about it. Probably thought he could talk him out of it, or that he was just talking shit.
Yeah.
He's just yapping. If you haven't killed people yet, you don't expect anyone to actually kill somebody. That's crazy. Yeah. So this Brenda's oldest sister says, quote, he's the one who let her down. He should have taken care of her that day. I have a hard time not thinking that he knew something. And that's brutal. From her standpoint, I don't blame her. Yeah. I would feel the same way if I was her.
Took my niece and sister. How
would you not think that? But then if you're him, it's hard. It's just nothing good came of this. No. Nothing good. Only of the 6 boys and 2 girls, the 8 Lafferty siblings, only 1 brother and 1 sister reached out to Brenda's family. And also some of Ron's sons have apologized publicly for what their father did. Please don't blame us, for Christ's sake. Right. Ron will not talk to the press. He's pissed off. He's angry, Dan says. And, he says that Ron is sitting there waiting for a chance to kill him. Because when they first got in jail, when they first arrived in jail, Ron tried to kill Dan. And then they were a team after that. But now, Dan says that Ron would kill him if he got the chance. Okay. It's weird shit. So here's Dan in prison. Okay. They describe him in this article, the Deseret News, wearing his hair pulled up into a ponytail on top of his head. Like they said, like a Buddhist monk. He calls his
1987 girl
or a girl. He calls the prison his monastery. Dan does. He hasn't shaved since he was sentenced to life in prison. He has rubber bands wrapping his beard, shit to keep it like that. This is weird shit. Wow. He says he talks about the murders of his sister-in-law and niece. They said that he describes it, quote, as if he were a surgeon recounting a routine medical procedure. He claims responsibility for both murders, although, Ron was convicted of killing Brenda. He says how in the middle of it, he's cursing in the middle of a sentence. He lets off a casual curse, which seems to surprise the reporter. So he stops telling his story to say, my vocabulary's become liberated, he says, because he realized there's no sin in cursing, which I've said that for years. So this is great that I'm agreeing with this guy for once. He says, quote, God doesn't give a fuck about words. Everybody, God doesn't give a fuck about words. Thank you. God does not give a fuck about words. What God cares about is anything that makes you happy and that doesn't hurt anyone else. So anyways, I was praying pretty steady from that point on, so I pushed my way into the house and I took those 2 lives.
Wow.
Literally was like, now cursing's fine. So anyway, I cut this baby's throat. Huh? Imagine being a person with a fucking tape recorder, a pad and pencil hearing this. I
opened my sister-in-law.
Holy fucking
God
shit.
Doesn't give a fuck about words.
They're just words.
What he cares about is when I opened a baby's throat.
when I nearly took a baby's head off. He said, so they ask him about that. Does that bother you? And he says, quote, it's never haunted me. It's never bothered me. Real calm. He says, quote, I don't blame anyone for not understanding, but if you had done it, it wouldn't haunt you either. It was a strange phenomenon.
Oh, no, it wasn't.
No. He says that he and his brother were led by God to beat Brenda unconscious. This is what they did to her, by the way. Exactly. Beat her unconscious, wrap a vacuum cord around her neck and strangle her till she passed out, and then stabbed her and slit her throat.
Wow.
At 24 years old with a baby.
What a terrible
That's what they did to her.
Whoosh.
Fucking horrible. He then describes it. Quote, I held Brenda's hair and did it pretty much the way they did it in the scriptures. is what he said. In the scriptures.
What scriptures did they do that?
I don't know.
I don't remember in the Bible where they describe how to
cut a head off. I'm not sure. Then I walked into Erica's room.
No.
I talked to her for a minute. I said, I'm not sure why I'm supposed to do this, but I guess God wants you home, like I said. And he said he looked away as he slit the baby's throat, is what he said. He goes, I like to think that she didn't suffer. It probably should draw more sympathy than it does, but I don't feel it.
Oh, my God.
This guy's a fucking monster.
Yeah.
He's a fucking monster. He believes all organized religion is of the devil, and although religion's his favorite, he loves to talk about it, but he says it's all of the devil. He says he even tore up all of his scriptures years ago and threw them in the garbage, but he remembers them all. Yeah. He says that everyone on earth is a child of God or a child of the devil, one of the two. You're on one side or you're on the other here. Yeah. Ron, he said, is the child of the devil, and he's a child of God. He goes, but Ron tried to kill me, and Ron's a little off.
Cain and Abel.
Dan says, he says about it, he says, now, he's obviously of the devil, I'm of God, so I'm going to go to heaven. And they said, what do you think heaven is? And he says, he believes it's a, quote, 1,000-year party.
That's it?
That's it. That's heaven. Okay.
It's like a shit party.
Yeah. Dan's mother used to visit him, actually, but he hasn't had a visit, he said, in 15 years as of 2004. He said 3 years ago, his oldest son visited him on Christmas with his wife, besides that. And he says mostly his son just looked at him, trying to figure him out, he could say. He was looking at me like I was a Rubik's Cube.
He looked at me like there was something wrong with me.
I don't know, like I could just slit a baby's throat and not feel bad about it for fucking 20 years. He then says, quote, this is like a fucking mob member, and even they would be like, he says, quote, I'm not ashamed about what happened. It was just a matter of business. What? You killed a fucking baby. I mean, I don't know how else to put it, but I don't mean to discount Brenda, but you killed a baby, dude. Like a grown person, people can have legitimate reasons for wanting to kill a grown person. Not that you should ever do it, but a baby?
Pepsi shows up to my house fucking and ridiculous. Opens my children and looks at me and goes, it's just business.
It's just business, motherfucker.
I'm never buying Pepsi again.
No, damn. Put that away, son. We're switching to Coke here.
I'll drink Coke forever.
Wow. So Dan has never talked to his brother about murdering his wife and daughter. I guess not. He said, Alan once asked my mom why I wouldn't repent. There's some things you can't repent for. I'm sure Alan thought I was talking about an unpardonable sin. What I meant is, you don't repent for things that aren't wrong.
That wasn't wrong.
That's what he said. That's why he didn't repent. Not because it was an unpardonable sin, because it ain't wrong. I was supposed to.
I was told to.
That's fucking crazy.
It is.
Want to hear it get crazier?
Yeah.
Okay. I got more crazy. Dan doesn't think he'll die in prison.
No.
He believes that the walls will crumble and he will emerge as the biblical prophet Elijah announcing the second coming of Christ. That's what he said.
Oh, boy.
So they asked him, are you serious? And he said, quote, I don't feel comfortable saying I know I'm Elijah, but I'd be pretty surprised if I'm not. I'd be pretty surprised if I'm not. I'm just saying.
I wish I was there to hear that.
I would have died laughing. I can't talk to you anymore, dude. I was taking you seriously as a murderer, but now you're just an asshole.
I'm pretty shocked if I'm not.
Wow. He said, you could say I'm waiting patiently to see if I'm Elijah. He says, I could be wrong. Maybe it's all just a comfortable illusion. I don't know. I'd be pretty surprised if I'm not. I mean, let's be realistic here. Awesome. All the signs are pointing to fucking Elijah. I mean, it's just the way it is.
Somebody's right where they belong.
That's it. Right there.
That's a man that's still way too dangerous.
Oh, he is super. You want to hear how dangerous he is? It gets worse.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, because he can still talk to people on the outside with this crazy shit. He sees himself as one who will make the transition orderly so that the wheat, the children of Christ, can organize into communities of harmony while the children of the devil are pulled down root and stem from this world, he says. After the nasty, all this is over with, he said that the God's love and a 1,000-year party can finally begin, and then the whole cycle will repeat itself again. And every 1,000 years you do that. You know how it goes.
Hired for that gig. Desert noises!
It's desert noises!
1,000 years of desert noises.
He then says that both of these groups, the children of God and the devil, simply follow a program they cannot deviate from. For some, that may mean a mundane 9-to-5 existence. For others, killing women and children.
Yeah.
That's what he said. So who is he to that was his path. I'm supposed to do this.
That's my part.
He says that religion is a free agency, and like you can switch religions.
Yeah.
It's an illusion pimped by religion to dupe its believers. He said they use faith and other lies and secrets and deceptions to brain fuck followers into thinking they have the power to save or condemn people to hell. I completely believe that, but not the rest of it.
Right.
Just that part sounds great.
Amen.
If he just said that and shut the fuck up and didn't kill any kids, I'd be like, this is my kind of guy. So, Jesus Christ. He says, quote, I understand very well that my philosophy makes me sound crazy, but I try to make it as logical as I can. But I don't mind if people think I'm crazy, and I don't know that I'm not, but I don't think that I am. I think there's some good shit coming. God's a good motherfucker, and when he comes back, he's going to be smoking a doobie saying, tired of this world? Well, it's time to party. I really believe that.
Is that what he said?
That's fucking quote.
He's a cool motherfucker.
But God's a good motherfucker. He's a good shit, that God. He's a good motherfucker, and when he comes back, he's going to be smoking a doobie saying, tired of this world? Well, it's time to party, fuckers. Let's go. And I really believe that, is what he said.
Amen.
Amen. And now, the Desert Noises Band. What the fuck?
And they all said...
This is real. This happened in the world.
Oh, Jesus, Lord.
This might be our craziest. It could be the craziest. Pocket Robin is
He's
pretty
certainly
crazy.
Convinced.
This is, I mean, it's right up there with the arm test, though. This is nuts in Rulo. Wow. So, September 2014.
Yeah.
Speaking of still dangerous, police, they find that... two people here, Benjamin and Christy Stack.
Yeah.
They murdered their two youngest children.
No.
And possibly killed a third with a combination of drugs, including methadone.
How many letters?
They're discovered on September 27th by their oldest son. The parents were found with cups of red liquid next to their bodies. They killed themselves, too. They didn't just kill their children. This is a Jim Jones situation.
Oh, really?
They literally had Kool-Aid.
They killed them all and took themselves
cups of Kool-Aid,
out.
While the children were discovered lying on and around the bed, covered with blankets up to their necks with empty bottles of liquid methadone and boxes of cold and flu medication nearby. That's what they made a fucking cocktail out of. The autopsy said that all 5 died due to drug toxicity, and obviously it's the poison. The third child's death, they couldn't figure out if it was that, but they assumed it was. But for some reason, there was a problem with the testing.
Maybe choked on vomit or something.
Yeah, well, relatives, we'll find out what happened here. Relatives told People magazine that they suspected the Stracks had killed their children and committed suicide themselves because, quote, they had isolated themselves from neighbors and some of the family. They said that and one of the Benjamin's brother said it had been a while since Ben had been to work. He also said some of the changed behaviors before their death seemed out of place and didn't make sense at the time, but looking back now, they make sense, and we want to speak out to prevent other people from having to endure what we are enduring. Now, what they did was Dan was talking to them.
Yeah.
He was talking to them. He influenced them to kill themselves and their children. According to Dan, Christy had a dream. This is what Dan says. Christy came to him and said she had a dream about him while reading the book about them, which we'll name at the end, but there's a book about this whole situation. She was reading the book 10 years ago, had a dream about Dan, and eventually decided to reach out to him.
Oh, no.
The book is a lot of Dan's bullshit. The book is all written kind of through Dan's perspective. They became close friends with Dan, visiting him in state prison on a weekly basis, this couple. The police captain in Springerville said, quote, he's very fond of them. He wanted his remains to go to them when he died. Okay? That was in his prison will. Dan claims that Christy's husband Benjamin knew Dan and Christy were in love, and he didn't mind. It was okay with him that Dan and Christy were in love. Dan says he cut off his waist-length hair at her request and sent it to the family, because later on he ends up with all short hair. But the Stracks, their relationship stopped in 2008 when they ended up having to plead guilty, the couple, to criminal charges, including forgery and drug possession, and they weren't allowed to visit the prison anymore at that point. Right. So Dan and Christie exchanged letters for a while, but the correspondence stopped when Christie said she didn't believe Dan was the prophet Elijah. Now, Dan told the AP
was it the Polaroids of his dick that he sent?
Maybe there's a dick pic. This isn't Elijah's cock. I feel like Elijah's cock would be veinier, right?
This seems smaller than Elijah,
be bigger.
Right?
Like the head on it would be formidable.
A little more bulbous.
That's what I'm thinking anyway. I'm just saying for me. Now, Dan said he hadn't talked to them in years, but he says he believes it was his, quote, hell-on-earth philosophy that led to the murder-suicides. He said, quote, my insanity messes with people's lives. It's just the way it is. He also said, I'll miss them, but I'm happy for them. I believe they're in paradise now.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
They kill you fucking jerk.
Yeah. This is what I mean.
And he contributed to that.
And he's happy about it. He's thrilled.
Unbelievable.
2015, Utah, the state legislature adds firing squads again to the list, but only if courts determine that Utah doesn't have the cocktail of drugs needed to execute them by lethal injection.
If you're out of drugs,
we can shoot them.
Bring in that 300 Win Mag.
Other than that, the last person killed by firing squad, Ronnie Lee Gardner in 2010, and we've talked about him.
I remember that.
And we'll talk more about him in our bonus episode. So 2017, Ron's got more appeals here. The U.S. District Judge dismissed a petition that sought to vacate his murder conviction and death sentence on the grounds they violated his constitutional rights. I thought it didn't matter. I thought it was how can you have constitutional rights if they don't exist? It's not the word of God. What is he talking about? This petition allowed the death penalty, alleged the death penalty was cruel and unusual punishment, and said Ron Lafferty had spent years under brutal prison conditions, experiencing daily trauma of facing death. Yeah, that's prison. That's what you just described there. But the judge, rejecting the claims, quoted a U.S. Supreme Court opinion saying that there's no support for the proposition that a defendant can avail himself of the panoply of appellate and collateral procedures and then complain when his execution is delayed. You can't, you play the game, right? You fucking take the consequences.
Can't bitch when you lose.
That's the thing. That's why he was saying, I don't want to play.
Right.
Because that way he could say, at least I'm not playing. So, August 2019 is like one of his last appeals here. It's like his last ditch thing. This decision was in the Denver-based 10th Circuit Court. So we're going down the line. It's like Supreme Court's next, where it was denied again. His lawyer said, quote, this was his remaining last challenges to his conviction and sentencing. There are no other avenues I'm aware of to challenge the judgment against him. He could ask the 10th Circuit Court to reconsider its decision or ask the full court to hear his case. But the lawyer said he'll use all his options to challenge the conviction and death sentence, vowing he'll go all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court if necessary. He says, quote, when the most severe penalty a state can impose is at stake, we look to the courts to be a safety net to ensure that the full protections allowed by the Constitution have been met. Here, the court relied on procedural technicalities to deny Mr. Lafferty a complete appellate review of his case. Doesn't fucking matter very much. That, by the way, was August 2019. November 11th, 2019, Ron dies in prison.
Really?
Dies in prison.
Oh, God damn it.
Right? It's kind of when he needed to get shot. At 78. To shoot an old man would have been hilarious.
Oh, God, he would have exploded.
An old asshole, yeah, just a dick like that.
His shoulders were just like ripped open.
Fucking thin skin.
Yeah.
What a dick.
Everything would have just oozed out.
Yep.
That would have been great.
Oh, fucking he would have deserved this shit. One of his attorneys said that, he was mentally ill and he could never assist and everything. She wrote that she believed his incarceration was the reason that he believed, I told you, the unseen spiritual forces. The reincarnated sister who became possessed by an evil spirit. She also says, through it all, Mr. Lafferty himself never believed that he was mentally ill or incompetent. One expert said that if he was guilty of faking anything, he was guilty of pretending to be normal when he was not. Mr. Lafferty, like other mentally ill prisoners, was not treated for his mental illness as he should have been. Oh, that's true with a lot of people, but I don't know why this guy, I don't really care so much.
Sometimes it feels like you give up your rights for a lot of things, including mental health evaluations.
Yeah, that's
if you open a child and a mother, maybe we don't give a fuck how sane you are.
That's exactly right. He said the lawyer also said that Ron lacked any rational understanding of the legal proceedings. That, quote, quote, that was not polluted by his delusion. So he thought he understood shit. She also said his execution should have been prohibited because of that. And one of the state's attorneys said, quote, the wheels of justice turn so slowly in cases like this. It's cruel and tragic. Now that Mr. Lafferty is facing his maker, perhaps ultimate justice will be realized, and there will finally be some closure for the victims' families here. And there was actually one of the family members here, Brenda's older sister Sharon, said, quote, our family is grateful. We feel like it's just as well that he passed on his own. Good. Yeah. That's a really healthy attitude. He's dead. I don't care how he died. He's off away from me. Not, I wanted vengeance. Right. That's a healthier attitude. She's not letting it eat her up inside, even though it eats her up inside. According to her, Ron was in a wheelchair and had a caretaker during his last year in prison. He was 78. She said she wasn't surprised he passed away. She said, I do know that he was frail and had been for some time, and he had not been feeling well. I don't believe that he had been able to walk for a while. And she says she doesn't feel cheated by the fact that he escaped execution. She said, quote, I absolutely felt a huge amount of relief when I heard the news that he had passed, because I preferred that he passed peacefully than have to go through what all of us were having to go through. Yeah. That's fucking, wow, that's some really healthy people, man.
I mean, really, though, he was in prison. He was convicted of murder. He was in prison and died in prison. That's an execution.
That's pretty much an execution. Attrition. Right. An execution of attrition.
And also, there's not a man...
Shit food, bad health care, terrible conditions, stress.
He had to eat fat and sodium straight for so many years. But the best part is that there's not some poor bastard that has to go to bed at night thinking
I killed that guy.
I just had to kill that guy.
To feel bad for this dickhead.
Right.
So, there's all of that. His brother, Dan, he's still sitting in Draper prison here and
10
fucking
years
hanging
younger.
out. 7 years younger. He's only, 71, going on 72. Okay. The book was Under the Banner of Heaven by John Krakauer, and that's the big book that was written about this, that's based mainly on Dan's recollections and shit like that. A lot of, public shit too, but a lot of Dan has a heavy hand in that one. That, my friends, is American Fork, Utah. That is one of the craziest fucking stories we ever had.
American fuck Utah.
Fuck Utah. Last week in the beginning, I said, watch out next week. We have a crazy one. Don't think we don't when I say that. When I say that, it's extra crazy. Because it's always crazy. When I say we have an extra crazy one, we have this. Yeah. So it's fucking happening. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you like the show, I know how you can tell us. Get on Apple Podcasts, that purple icon. Give us 5 stars. It really does help drive us up the charts, and it helps us on the business end immensely. Guess what, too? I know you have time. We can see you right now. Right. You're sitting there going, what am I going to watch next on fucking Hulu?
Right.
Put it down for 2 seconds and give us this goddamn review. It helps a lot. We put in a lot of time for you bastards. No, we're just kidding. Thank you for everything you do for us. But we do put in a lot of time. But you're not bastards. Thank you guys so much for all you do for us.
Yeah.
Also, head over to shutupandgivememurder.com for all of your crime and sports and small town murder needs. Right. Listen to Crime and Sports. It's hilarious. It's fun. It's us making fun of a criminal athlete. There's some dark murders in there. There's some weird light stuff. It's good shit. Listen to it if you're not listening to it already. Check all that out on the website. Get your merchandise. Get your tickets to live shows, which looks like from July on, looks like we're going to have live.
They're going to happen.
Live shows. They've rescheduled Boston and New York for August, I know. Boston sold out. New York is close to sold out. I think it's August 22nd, so get your tickets right goddamn now.
I've never been to Brooklyn.
Really?
Yeah.
It's good shit. You're going to love it. Pizza's amazing.
Yeah.
Also, I know they're working on Seattle and Portland. We've been asked a lot about that. They're working on...
There's 3 sold out shows there. We'll figure it out.
3 sold out. Yeah. The Aladdin in Portland has 2 nights of sold out show from us. 1,200 tickets sold. They're going to have those shows. It's going to happen. Same thing with Seattle and Neptune. We'll do it. Trust us. It'll get done. They rescheduled Detroit and Cincinnati for August. And also Nashville's been rescheduled for July. Right. And I believe they're also working on Austin and Oklahoma City. Did those get rescheduled yet?
That's close too.
That's almost there. Yeah. So keep an eye on the website and keep listening back to us. Get all your tickets right now, because now that trust me, when people go out, they're going to want to go out when they get out again. So tickets should fly off the shelves.
It's going to go fast.
So do that. Get your tickets right now.
And I assure you,
we are going to throw down.
With how long we've sat.
Oh, it's going to be good stuff.
And angry about it.
It's going to be good.
We're going to have a really good time.
Good fucking shit. Also, listen to P.S. I Hate This Movie every Friday with myself and Sarah Hunt, my wife, while we rip apart romantic comedy movies movies and do all of that good shit, you can do that. Also, follow us on social media at Murder Small on Twitter, at Small Town Pod on Facebook, and at Small Town Murder on Instagram. Do all of that. And if you want to be a hero of ours, damn it, these producers who we're going to talk about in just a moment, who are huge heroes, and they're recipients of hearing all the bonus episodes. Right. You have access to all the bonus episodes if you're $5 or above on Patreon, and you can do that. And this week it'll be about botched executions, and hopefully, if we have time for it, weird last meals. Right. So that's what we're going to do for that. And if you want to be one of these people, one of these producers, one of these amazing, incredible people, very easy to do that. Patreon.com/crimeandsports, or you can head over to PayPal and use our email address, crimeandsports@gmail.com, if you want to just make a one-time donation and just tell us that you love us. Thank you guys for every dime you send us, and we understand, we know it because we're off the road. Jesus. Times are tough, man. People are squeezing every dollar they can, so just thank you. And we've actually received emails from a few people that had to cancel their Patreon because they lost their job or they got laid off, and they would email us apologizing. It's like no.
I feel like I'm going to be mad at them.
Yeah, no, don't do no. You never have to apologize.
We're going to see if their name's not there this month.
I'll be so mad,
and we're going to call them.
But I mean, they really feel bad, and because we all feel like a family, and so they feel terrible. And please don't feel bad if you have that. If you have things that you need to take care of in your life, guys, I mean, we'll be here for you when you get done with it.
Take care of you.
Thank you.
Kids, take care of you first.
And if you're doing real well and everything's fine, throw us a couple fucking bucks, you cheap prick.
If you're making extra money in this, you better
toss it over. So thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
I told you that PayPal is, what is it? It's
crime.
I said it already. Yeah, I already said that. All right, good deal. With that said, without further ado, the only thing that would make me feel any better about my life right now is to hear the names of the greatest goddamn people in the world. Jimmy, hit me with the producers. Hit me with them hard, like your belief in scripture.
This week's executive producers are Liam Krause, Erica Anderson, Rachel Sherwood, Misty Donahue, Joe Bonacore, Isabel Griffith, Derek and Lavinia Adams, Jacqueline Hall, Guido Van Veen, Marcus Polite, Janine Fennel, that's what that is, Tanya Volanek, Cynthia Watson, no, that's Dotson, damn it, Cecilia Carter, this is going to go bad today, Melissa Turner, Danielle Butcher. Thank you guys so much. We can't do this without you guys, truly. Quickly, Walt Murray, he's been listening to us for like 3 years. He lost his mom, and he would go visit her, and she's been battling. But he'd visit her, and then they'd talk about the shows and stuff together, and he would make her laugh. So thank you, Walt.
Cool.
Thanks for having us be part of your journey.
Yeah, man, thank you. That means the world to us. It really does.
Yeah, man. And then Lonnie Hall lost her pup. Sorry, Lonnie.
Oh, sorry,
Lonnie.
Lonnie.
Friends, hang in there. Then we have Joanne Potter. Damn it. Jana Holbrook, and the rest of our producers this week are Kathy. This is going to be long. Kathy McAleer, Fiona Hollier, Grant Brand, Isaac Stemple, Danny Tapkin up in Minnesota. Thank you. Taylor Gay, Aunt Rios, Shane Messer, Josh Thomas. No. Toombs, sorry. Christopher Valdez Frank, Keely Marshall, Tamara B, Donna Thornton, Elizabeth Jones, Talia Talia Bruin, Jared with no last name, Sarah Schmidt, Amanda Dixon, Ashley Grenier, Nicole Ayers, Madison Grant, Farrah Khan, Brett Trace, Lexi with no last name, Fake Hay Garner, Craig McLaughlin, Richard Tower, Joe with no last name, Ashley Keeler, I said that, I think. No, I didn't.
Again.
Brianna Worth, Rebecca Beckenston, Kristen Merrick, Joyce Lewis, Kate Falconer, Riley Yetter, Laura Malone, Tony Dodson, Mark Davis, Liam Trainer, Kristen Appier, what is that? Appier? I think. I'm so sorry. Apgar. Alex Lee. No, G. Is that, what is
I'm sorry. John Quinlan, Sarah Jessen, Brian Tucker, Cody Walker, Mazel, Paul Steinbach, Andrea Rowe, Kent with no last name, Zoe Otway, Josh Guido, Victoria, that can't be right. It's got to be right. That's what I wrote. Victoria Stoddard, Mikey with no last name, Jody Tristan, Aaron with no last name, and that's AIREN, Rebecca Smith, Aleel Hadfield, Lily Whitaker, Rachel Presley, Evelyn Weaver, Michelle Smith, Brian Killian, Brian Haynes, Tash Rossi, Gay Foch or Fosh, Stephanie Marie, Erica with no last name, Matt Pope, Larissa Millhouse, I think, Elizabeth Rankin, Lenita Buchanan, Colin Weaver, Adam Clark, Anthony with no last name, Patrick Griffith, Amber Bonnet, Willika Wilson, probably Willika, April Dependent. I don't know, April. Christopher Bryant. Shay Beaton. Saint Guadri. St. Guadri. I don't know what I did. Stephen Barella. Julie Whedon. Annie Rose. Sorry, Annie. I swear I'll get through all this. Gerald Litzler, Sean Sweeney, Kendall Wolitzen. Caitlin Paulek, Christina Bowman Sanders, Deanne Flora, Doug Schroeder, Taylor Milloway, Drew Shanks, Sunil Mukherjee. No, I'm sorry, Sunil. Is that Marcus? Sarah Chapman, Ryan Wallum, Marshall Yararis, Megan Amon, Jenny Orden, Chris Etter, Tracy Arrett. No. Zach Kipfer, Tressa Barrick, Adam with no last name, Ryan Sullivan, John Boyardi, Jeff Boyardi. Oh, I got you. I see your pun. Melissa Delaney, Jason Foreman. Oh, is that Delap? I'm sorry. Keith Kangas, Zach Keister. Maybe, I think. I don't want to call him an asshole. Amy Williamson, Hunter Spendlove, Peggy Simmons, Nicole Palfy, Randy Contrell, Nicole Fordson, Artemis Goris, Alyssa Macer, Drew Meismer, Grover M. What did I do? Latoya Redmond, Danielle Headley, Monica Fitzgerald, Tom Kohler, Alyssa McGee, Tyler Hack, Carolyn Davis, Courtney Murphy, Heather White, Misty Cooper, Ekaterina, Kazakanova. Julia Stikaski, Stakajerski, Dylan Leahy, Sean Mead, Daniel Gehrig, Greg Madgerbelly, Nick Ryard, Caitlin Eisen, Britt Heath, Nicole Bell Ferker, Alima Mitchell, Elena Bloomdahl, Beanie Bro cosplay. Beanie Boo cosplays. God damn it. Doug Sixpence? Oh, Song Sixpence. Is that Sixpence 9? Is that the group? Sixpence. I don't know. Something Sixpence. And I think it's a band. I hope it's them. I want it to be them.
Thank you.
Probably not. Lisa Newman, Kira Donahue, Christine Duncanson, Denise Yard, Madison with no last name, Brett Sloan, Nicole Bethel, Graham Moore, Daisy with no last name, Kimberly J, Sawana Kivara Kara. Probably not. I'm sorry.
Bennett lost in the weeds on that one.
Bennett Williams, Harry Weger, Amanda Schmidt, Leon Fennessy, Megan Wegner, Avery Christensen, Megan no last name, Becca Peters, damn it, Adai Collette, April Washington, Erica Woning. Wenig? Oh, no, it's not. Zach Pearson, Rosie D, Dean Robinson, Tom Blake, Matai, Emily Morgan. I can get that one out. Red Black 77, Miranda Stewart, Lacey Rosser, William Legg, Gabriel Gabriel Bretska, Savannah Martin, Taylor Klein, Jen Fernandez, Corey Montgomery, Lisa Spiller, Abel Sandeau, Emily Shepard, Cassie with no last name, Brad Donovan, Dawn Arden Boyd, Caitlin Rasmussen. She's a CNA taking care of some of the most vulnerable people on the planet.
Thank you so much for doing that.
Tyler Wood, Roxanne Mason, Ashley Allen, David Wattis, or Watts, that's what that is. Kyle Snyder, Emily Addizer, Suze Gaynor, Amy Peterson, Natalie with no last name, Stephen Shepard, Junior Johnson, that's Junior Johnson, Kathy Samuels, Ali Wales, Catherine Haman, Gwendolyn Lloyd, Vince Opidesano, I think. Gwendolyn's last name is Lloyd with one L. You would be very happy about that. There's not two, like the fucking the liars. Holly Hesse, Nikki Redmond Corzin, Jesse Ryan, Jake Kokish, Michelle with no last name, Tina York, Wyatt Deckard, Mike Larson, Shisha Permenter, Chantel Bracey, Allison Ryan, I said that, Sean Adis, Rebecca Blanchard, Alex Johnson, Jessica Schweitzer, Yumi, Carrie Gines, probably Gines, right? Alex Johnson, I said that. Brianna Doherty, Saskia Viegel, Fiona Taylor, Kelly Rummel, Nina Korzanewski, I think. Danielle Busher, Sean with no last name, Jen Sievers, Chase with no last name, Regina Lee, Galen Harris, Sarah Gibbs, Duncan Layton, Laura Schwartz, Jessica S., Mike Blumen. What is that? Bovine? No, it's not.
I don't
Michael,
so.
I'm so sorry. I fucked your last name up. Aaron Hall, Matt Bozer.
I like Bohor myself.
Dines with no last name, whatever that is. Damon Motz, Hillary Skinner, Stephanie with no last name, Basilton Nuring, Melissa Shibanui, Sibunui. No, Kim Berg, Mandy McKenzie, Gavin Wallace, Stephanie with no last name, Brittany Borgen, Ken Lippert, Adam Apple, Jennifer Copeland, Jordan White, Leah Smith, Jacob Russell, Tony Rolland, I think that's right. Jordan Bennett, of course, Kathleen Kite, I think that is, or Kellite. I put a whole bunch of letters together. I don't know what they are.
So did whoever made her last name.
Nick Rundy, Summer Ferndly, Andrea White, Jared Crooks, Ola Cerniecki, Jessica Higgins, Victoria Brick Bolick, LaFane Bradford, Aaron Miller, Megan Smith, Matt Wilkins, Rebecca with no last name, Karen Shalene, K Red 827, Chris Robinson, Lenore Bell Macbetha, Jordan Herringer, God damn it, Harriger, Larry Traver, that's not right either, I'm so sorry, Larry, I think, Shawnee Chambers, Alexander Cawthorn, Lindsay Ann On, Align, Ryan Schultz, Matt Sledge, Evelyn Virginia Hogan, Thomas nice. Pinnacone, Jason Christowski, Judd Hall, Devin Axtman, what is that, Brooke Graining, Chase Grotsky, Aiden Smith, Kelly Clow, Ty Yeager, Mercy Silver, Cindy Payne, Cathedra Burton, Jessica Wolkowski, Alpha Janelle Watson, the Cambridgeshire Goatman. I'm not sure what that is. Jamie Fedora, Feeder, Peter Mazzawi, God damn it, Ilma de Blasio, Tamia Ames, Tammy Ames, Regina Clifton, Katie Jeffs, Naylee Bennett, Ben, what is this? Ben Cole, cool, that's what that is. Joe Larson, Joshua Denton, Brittany Peckler, Ryan Thompson, William Dunlap, Allison Hinkle, Adrian Reffel, Brittany Herrig, Dylan LaValle, Tim Lawrence, Eric P., Emma Drury, Eric Rhodes, David Fronicki, Donna Thurman, Nakira, Joe Tassilo, Tiffany Smith, a Case, Mindy Bond, Soraya, with no last name, Mike Vanus, Jeff Dalkey, Jenny Blacker, Lisa Wood, Kristen Kriminger, Helen J, Kimberly Ann Cunningham, Joe Jose, Aaron Gu, Harrison Montgomery, Colette Bolera, Livawandi Liquandi.
Pardon?
Indu. I'm bad at this. Alicia Wolf Heinrich Ubenschleiser, Candida, Megan Debus, Homestretch, Rachel Morales, Nicole with no last name, Benjamin Anderson, Luis Garcia, Carl Griffin, James Oshner, Laura Carlin, Angela Ramali, Malik Cooley, Rain is not a bow. I don't know. Rain, not a bow, though. Got it. Okay. I'm on board. David with no last name, Jay Schaus, Tyler Russell, Tommy Marlows, Jamie Brown, Shauna with no last name, Esther Kudrow, Daniel Christ, Kelsey Headland, Chantel Kemp, Andrew Snow, Jurgens Craggs, I think, David Goddard, Ole Gardner, Lang, William Keller, Jessica with no last name, BK Britt, Ryan Russell, Danielle Barbie, Jamie with no last name, Tammy with no last name, Andrew Hollier, Carrie Britt, A. Douglas, Courtney Friend, Ryan Noonan, Matt and Angie Cluis, Kelsey Rodriguez, Brian McCann, Nancy with no last name, Samantha Porch, Keegan King, Jamie Acock, Bianca Reinbold, Kathy Chong, Nancy with no last name, River Robinault, Chad Wilson, Melissa Herring, Jennifer Reilly, Tyler Gardner, Jay Gillis, I think, Andrew Bryan, Kyle Francis, Jack Tapping, no, that's Topping, Andrea Beckman, Mike Shanahan, probably not, Miss Shapen Maple, Monique Kahn, Nguyen, Ted Cyrus, Aaron with no last name, Aaron Doty, Ben the Wombat Russell, he's probably a wrestler, Quinn Riley, C. Van Buskirk, Ben Beatty, Shay Smith, Shay Mitchell, I'm sorry, I don't know how I got Smith out of Mitchell, because I'm dumb, Megan Ozerbrocht, Jonathan Phipps, Bradley Dooley, Patrick Sweeney, Andrea Acosta, Taylor with no last name, Greg Otto, Greg Otto, Eric Klein, Crystal G, Tony Sandelin, Connor Forbes, Chris Spackler, that's gross, Brendan, no, that's Brenda Zapowski, damn it, Lassisi, Nanny, Aaron Silva, Joey McIntosh, probably not the one from the band, the New Kids on the Block.
Is that his name?
Yeah.
McIntyre.
Oh, you're right. Who liked him more than James? Nobody.
Yeah,
Josh Aguilar, Nathan Spencer, Jeffrey Osterberg, Alex with no last name, Reverie Revel Fowler, Derek Miller, Byers, what is that? Bars Kahula? Probably not. God damn it. Kylan Page, TL, Sarah Delaney, Michaela Massengill, Wes Crouette, Larry Duffy, Denise Grimhall. I thought I was closer to the end. Ada Kaziniak, Victoria Gabay, Summer Montera, Eric. What did I do? Erica. Oh my God. Carbonell. Oh, that Eric Carbonell. Jonathan Ray Kessner, James Harris, Larry Demas, Maddie Kozanowski. No, Klonzinski.
Something Polish.
Rebecca Schmidt, Ashley Vio, Rach with no last name, Carrie Kirshner, Bug, Maud Author, Darlene James, Danielle Cassidy, Stephanie. Valentine. That's why.
Stephanie.
Put Stephanie next to Valentine. Yeah, try to say it fast. See if you don't go Stephine. You wouldn't. Sarah Fudge, Tim Plummer, Liz Vasquez. Thanks, Liz. Thanks, Reagan Shockley, Louise Rayfield, Wallace Woodwork, Daniel Einerson, Erickson. I don't know what that is. Saska Shepard, Mary with no last name, Peyton Meadows, Andrew Dittmer, Jamie Kazurga, Daisy Parker, Michael Stefani, Lucy Stacy, Mike Tolbert, probably not that one. That's Holbert. Sorry. Allison Plant, Joe C, Libby Ritchie, Daniel Wheeler. Sorry. James Martyr, Rick Beebe, Henry Stone, Louis Tidrick, Tiffany Cronquist, Lori Gravelin, Charles Buchel, Sean Glennon, Miranda with no last name, Brandon Drake, Logan Wells, Johnny Ramey, Amanda Knight, Gary Howard. Thank you, Gary.
Hey,
I appreciate it, buddy. He's got a podcast he started. What else do we got here? Destiny Hanratty, Destiny Hanratty, Jill King, Diane Duvall, Amber Walgren, Carl Kusher. What is that? Damn it, Manasat Chatta? No,
Shevitsu?
It's man meat chatta.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what that means. It could be somebody's fucking with me, maybe. Jody Settle, Daily Vet Bonilla, Diane Duvall, Rena Taylor, Kit Kat, Karen Edgent. Robin Anderson, Centerfire Cigar Rests, Janice Hill, Kim Hegeman, Sarah Mitchell, that's Sam Williams, Amber Lovieri, David Munyon, Nicole Beatty, Brandon Neff, John Allard, Catherine Hillman, also Foy. What is that? God, Alice Foy, Zach Kingley. I don't know what I did. Jackie Sukup, Susanna Platt, Steve Mellon. Oh, that's Steve Schnell.
Hey, Steve. What's up, buddy?
That is. Adonna Timakis, Michael Holmes, Kyle Dunphy, Morbid, Laura Yarnell. What did I do? Ben Coons, Brooke Kale, Paige Sandness, Crystal Hewitt, Brendan Abels, Roberta Beyer, Malia Aravalo, Jude Kendall, Stacy Turner, and Mama Needs Comfy, and of course, all of our Patreon supporters. You guys are fucking great.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. We just can't say it enough because we really do appreciate it. We know you guys go out of our way for us. So
out of your way
for us. Wow.
And Get out of our way for us.
For us, you bastards. And I am going to keep, me and Jimmy are going to keep going out of our way for you and do as much as we possibly can to get you through all this shit. That's why we're doing so much bonus and everything like that. Thank you so much. Jimmy, how could they get a hold of you to thank you?
It doesn't happen very often, but you can find me at Whisman Sucks, WHISMAN Sucks on Twitter and Instagram, and Jimmy Whisman on Facebook, which is my name. That's strange.
Yes.
And you can tell me horrible things about myself that I already knew. Where can they find you?
You can find me over at Jimmy P is Funny, or just copy and paste my last name or my whole name from the show description, and you can find me that way. It's a lot easier, and you rarely thank me too. A lot of people, not that I need thank you, but most of the time it's like, I don't know what it is. They think of me as he's all right.
He's fine.
Yeah, he could take it. He's fine.
He's all right.
He seems stable or whatever. No, I'm just as fucked up as anybody else. So be nice to me too. I got problems. I just I mask it with aggression, so it's a different thing. You don't realize it's there.
Maybe that. Well, I don't know. Who knows?
But either way, thank you guys.
People just like to say mean things sometimes.
That's all right.
I enjoy reading those
if they're funny
before I delete them.
Yeah,
and not fucking respond. No
shit.
You're gonna bait me into fighting with you on the internet.
Shit, no.
Who do you think you are?
I'll fucking trash you once and then leave you alone. I'll drop the fucking mic on you. I'll tell you that much.
You might get one word, and then I'm out. Bye.
That said, everybody, we're gonna keep coming back week after week. You cannot stop us ever, really. No. I'll tell you that. And until next week, everybody, it's been our pleasure.
Bye.
If you like Small Town Murder, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
A few miles from the glass spires of Midtown Atlanta lies the South River Forest. In 2021 and 2022, the woods became a home to activists from all over the country who gathered to stop the nearby construction of a massive new police training facility, nicknamed Cop City.
At approximately 9 o'clock this morning, as law enforcement was moving through various sectors of the property, an individual, without warning, shot a Georgia State Patrol trooper.
This is We Came to the Forest, a story about resistance.
The abolitionist mission isn't done until every prison is empty and shut down.
Love and fellowship.
It was probably the happiest I've ever been in my life.
And the lengths we'll go to protect the things we hold closest to our hearts. Follow We Came to the Forest on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus.